Chapter 490. Oh no. When the car engine suddenly started, Lin Gu suddenly thought of this. After all, the car configuration was getting better and better. Functions such as one-button start and keyless entry were not rare. Nakamura Kahiko's Lexus LS was definitely not lacking in standard Japanese luxury cars. Even the 60 to 70,000 yuan BYD Surue produced by Huaxia did not lack this configuration. Qin Wan-er's brain did not work so fast. She was completely stunned. She could not figure out how Nakamura Kahiko could still drive with his hands cuffed behind his back. If Lin Gu did not react quickly and pulled Qin Wan-er in front of the car, she would have been knocked over by Nakamura Kahiko, who stepped on the accelerator. Nakamura Kahiko used his chin to control the steering wheel and quickly escaped from the parking lot at the top of the mountain. The smile on his face was sinister, with a ruthless look. Today's failure was a very heavy blow to him. Obviously, to deal with Su Yun was not a problem that he could solve by spending money to find some ninja masters. He needed more people's support, the support of the Japanese cabinet, and the support of more masters. The death of his son was no longer a big deal for Nakamura Kahiko. After all, his son had lost the ability to carry on the family line. Finding a woman to give birth to a child would probably be on Nakamura Kahiko's agenda. I can't let him run away. After Qin Wan-er saw Nakamura Kahiko's Lexus rush out, she quickly got up and walked towards Su Yun's Porsche Cayenne that she drove. If we let him escape, he will definitely find a way to retaliate in the future. Quick, follow me in my car to chase after him. We must catch up with him. We must not give him a chance to escape. Lin Gu shook his head helplessly, but his feet did not move. Police sister, does my brother often say that you have big breasts but no brain? Have you really decided to chase after him? Are you kidding me? Qin Wan-er stared at him. What nonsense is this bastard talking about? No wonder he is friends with Su Yun. It is really a case of fish looking for fish, prawns looking for prawns, turtles looking for turtles. There is an absolute truth in this. Who is joking with you? Do I still have time to joke? If you don't go, I will go by myself. Police sister, I won't let you throw away your life. Lin Gu walked to the front of the car and blocked Qin Wan-er's way. You are likely to be my sister-in-law in the future. If I let you die now, my brother will definitely not let me go. You must be very familiar with my brother and know his temper. When he gets angry, I'll be in trouble. You saw it just now, I can't beat him. Qin Wan-er's face turned red and white. What the hell is this guy talking about? What do you know? Don't interfere in the matters of the Lord. I'm asking you now, do you dare to come with me to capture him? Lin Gu glanced at Nakamura's car. He can't escape. Now, he must be regretting choosing such a place to meet my brother. He definitely didn't expect that the person who would be buried under the cliff today wouldn't be my brother, but himself. Sister police officer, how did you feel when you drove on this mountain road? Was it dangerous? Was it steep? Qin Wan-er calmed down and finally understood what Lin Gu meant. It was not difficult to go up the mountain, but it was difficult to go down the mountain. On the way here, she felt that the curves were too steep. She wanted to stabilize the car, but she could only drive at about 30 kilometers per hour. Any faster and she would lose control. If she went down the mountain, the curves, especially the 5 consecutive curves, would be even more dangerous. Even a two-handed driver would not be able to stabilize the car, not to mention Nakamura was using his chin. Even Schumacher had never practiced using his mouth to drive a car. Could it be that Nakamura, an old man, was more powerful than the god of racing? Since he dared to drive on this mountain road, it meant that he was ready to commit suicide. Soon, Qin Wan-er realized that she had overestimated Nakamura Kahiko. Nakamura Kahiko, who had been running all the way down the mountain, had completely lost control at the first turn. When he saw the curve, even if he slammed on the brakes and quickly turned the steering wheel with his chin, the rapidly sliding car was already out of control. The steering wheel turned randomly, and Nakamura's chin was opened. The car flew directly off the cliff. When the car spun out of control on the winding mountain road, Nakamura Kahiko panicked. At this moment, He wanted to open the door and escape. Even if he was thrown, it would be better than escaping from the car. But after the car flew off the mountain road, everything was a foregone conclusion. Nakamura's frightened eyes followed the car that had lost control, and it fell off the cliff without hesitation. Qin Wan could not help but feel a little scared. If Lin Gu had not stopped her, she might have really chased after the car. She was afraid that it would be too late for her to regret. "Well, Sister Police Officer, this is none of your business. If you don't mind, let me handle it." Lin Gu smiled slightly. "Drive slowly when you go down the mountain. I suggest that you keep it within 20 kilometers per hour. Anyway, you are not in a hurry. Safety first." Qin Wan frowned and looked at the mess. How are you going to deal with it?" "I have my own plan. This is Hua Xia, and it's about the law. Don't treat Hua Xia as some foreign country." Qin Wan said, "You can't mess around here. Such a big thing happened, the police will definitely investigate." Lin Gu nodded. "That's why I asked you to leave first, Ms. Police Officer. I need to clean up all the traces that you've been here and make sure that all of these people and cars have crashed into the valley. Time is running out, so please don't create more trouble for me, okay?" "I make trouble?" Qin Wan was angry, but she believed that this guy was really smart. "Making a car accident. Can you do it alone? Do you need my help?" "I really need it." Lin Gu smiled and threw down a thick branch from the tree. Then he took something and fixed it to the back of Qin Wan-er's car. "Sister Police Officer, if you leave now, you can help me clean up the tire marks left by you and my brother. After you leave, I will use the car here to fake the scene. After you leave the mountain, it's better to take a detour and then remove the branch from the back of the car. In fact, it's very simple. Find a place with good road conditions, speed up, and then suddenly brake and turn around. This branch will naturally fall off." This guy is really unusual. A killer is really a killer. A killer who only knows how to kill is not powerful. This kind of person who has both the brain and the skill is terrifying. The people that Su Yun knew were really not good people. Qin Wan smiled helplessly. For Su Yun, she really didn't know whether this was a blessing or a curse. According to Lin Ji's idea, Qin Wan began to drive slowly down the mountain. The branch fixed to the back of the car removed all the tire marks. As for how Lin Gu would fake the scene, it was his business. With his super strong hands-on ability, this little thing was too easy. It was just that this mountain was very strange. The car that had the accident had never exploded. It was reasonable to say that once the fuel tank leaked, any scraping sparks could cause an explosion. Forget it, don't think so much. Lin Gu only needed to go to the crash site and set a fire. He didn't believe that it wouldn't explode. Nakamura Kahiko, the old fox who participated in the development of nuclear weapons in the Japanese cabinet, probably never thought that he, his son, and the high-level Chunin combat team that he spent 10 billion yen to hire from IGA Ryu would die in the wilderness without a burial place. Su Yun took Ruan Qingxuang back home first. Ruan Qingxuang was still a little worried. "Why didn't you let Wan come back with us? I'm really worried that something might happen to her." "You can rest assured that with Dove, he will protect her." Su Yun smiled slightly and said lightly, "It's good that she stays, because Dove has to explain something to her. Otherwise, there are some things that I will never be able to say. Maybe it will become a barrier between us forever. I need her to stay and listen to Dove's explanation." Ruan Qingxuang naturally didn't understand Su Yun's meaning because when she was saved by Su Yun, she was blindfolded. She didn't know that it was Su Yun who saved her, and Qin Wan was saved by Lin Gu. Therefore, what Ruan Qingxuang didn't need to care about, Qin Wan might care a lot. Maybe she wouldn't say it in her life, but Su Yun could guarantee that this would be a knot in Qin Wan-er's heart that would never be untied. In order to let her untie this knot as soon as possible, he needed Lin Gu to help him explain. Su Yun knew that Lin Gu was a smart person, so he didn't need to tell him at all. Lin Gu would help him explain it clearly. Now, Su Yun wasn't worried about Qin Wan-er, but Ruan Qingxuang. It was his fault to leave her here alone. It was also his fault that she was frightened. Su Yun really felt that he was very sorry for Yuan Qingxuang. Since she got involved with him, she had experienced many terrible things that she couldn't even dream of before. Sister Shuang, I'm sorry. These things are caused by me. Su Yun said guiltily. I let you suffer with me. I'm sorry. Maybe the atmosphere was too charming, or maybe the air was too ambiguous. After Su Yun apologized, he couldn't help but gently hold Yuan Qingxuang in his arms. He felt that he owed her too much, and he didn't know how to make up for these things that he owed her. Yuan Qingxuang's face was red. She stuck to Su Yun's chest. She didn't know why Su Yun said sorry. Since Su Yun appeared, she always felt that all the troubles were brought by her to Su Yun. She always felt that the one who should say sorry was herself, not him. Every time she faced difficulties, whether it was the harassment of gangsters or the kidnapping of big bullies, in the end, she could escape safely. It was all because of Su Yun. If it wasn't for Su Yun, she didn't dare to imagine what her life would be like now. Su Yun, deep in love, he couldn't stay still. Yuan Qingxuang raised her head for the first time and faced Su Yun's burning eyes. Yuan Qingxuang, who was very introverted and passive since she was a child, actually summoned the courage to take the initiative to open her heart for the first time. I love you. Perhaps this could no longer be considered a confession. This was a kind of confession. Yuan Qingxuang would boldly reveal her feelings, not because she wanted to monopolize something, but because she really didn't want to continue to hide it. Every time she wanted to tell Su Yun, but she never had enough courage. But this time, she was no longer afraid. She wasn't even afraid when she was taken away by the Dongying people. Why should she be afraid to face her own feelings? Love was love. It was no big deal. Since she had to admit it sooner or later, it was better to face it early. Chapter 491. At that moment, Yuan Qingxuang felt her breath being taken away. A hot and sincere breath hit her in the face. His icy lips pressed tightly against hers. His warm tongue searched for her entrance. Yuan Qingxuang was completely subdued by Su Yun's overwhelming gentleness. She only felt a burst of numbness all over her body. Her brain buzzed. Her body was so hot that she didn't even dare to touch it. When Yuan Qingxuang came back to her senses, after all, she was a girl. She was bound to feel shy. She secretly struggled with all her strength, only to find that her strength was completely useless in front of Su Yun. She couldn't break free at all. She didn't know if it was because Su Yun felt Yuan Qingxuang's struggle. Suddenly, his right hand hugged the back of Yuan Qingxuang's head. His left hand hugged Yuan Qingxuang's soft and slender waist. The two bodies were tightly pressed together. It was the first time Yuan Qingxuang's body had been completely controlled by someone. Su Yun's lips and tongue were soft and possessive. She couldn't think of anything else. Slowly, her whole body melted into Su Yun's arms. The completely melted Yuan Qingxuang cooperated with Su Yun's movements. She wrapped her hands around Su Yun's neck. In Yuan Qingxuang's memory, she had never been so unrestrained. She took the initiative to open her mouth and bite Su Yun's tongue that intruded in to let Su Yun know her power. However, Su Yun seemed to be even more powerful. He skillfully avoided Yuan Qingxuang's pursuit. The tips of their tongues went back and forth, neither of them giving in or compromising. Su Yun increased the strength of his grip on Yuan Qingxuang's waist. Yuan Qingxuang increased the strength of her fingers around the back of Su Yun's neck. The two's lips and tongues went back and forth, and their chests gradually heated up to an irredeemable point. Time seemed to have stopped. Su Yun and Yuan Qingxuang's tongues vented their surging passion to each other. The sound of their breathing became heavier and heavier. This kind of kiss was simply a disaster. It exhausted the physical strength of both parties. After a full minute, the two of them didn't seem to have any intention of stopping. Instead, they continued to demand and use more strength. When it came to kissing, perhaps it really couldn't be said that one was an expert. When one couldn't control their emotions, anyone could become an expert. The method of flirting wasn't something that could be learned through practice. Some people were born with it. For example, Su Yun. Although it was said that he hadn't had such an opportunity and feeling of surging passion in more than 20 years, he had at least seen a pig run. Wasn't it just a kiss? Who didn't know how to do it? This was the first time Soo-yoon was so deeply moved. His level was definitely not worse than that of a professional movie actor. Ruan Qingxuang also didn't dare to imagine that she would also have such a moment. She abandoned all her shyness and gambled her life to ask for Soo-yun's kiss. It wasn't until this moment that she understood how beautiful love was. This feeling made her feel as if she was beyond the 9 heavens. She didn't have any intention of stopping. She just wanted to continue like this for the rest of her life. It would be best if time stopped just like this. Soo-yun's hands also began to be somewhat unable to control themselves. Unconsciously, they began to move up and down Ruan Qingxuang's scalding body. When Soo-yun's slightly cold palms explored Ruan Qingxuang's skin through the opening at her waist, Ruan Qingxuang shivered all over again. Soo-yun's hands didn't have that kind of rough feeling at all. On the contrary, if Ruan Qingxuang were to rely on her feelings to imagine, she would even mistakenly think that this was a pair of hands of a pianist. The fingers were slender and smooth, without any rough calluses. Perhaps after experiencing layers of tempering, the rough hands finally broke out of the calluses. Even though Soo-yun's hands didn't have those thick calluses, they were still strong and could still make the opponent tremble in fear. A pair of big hands constantly moved up and down Ruan Qingxuang's back, and then caressed the front. When Soo-yun kept increasing the speed of his hands, Ruan Qingxuang's top began to be lifted bit by bit. However, Ruan Qingxuang was completely immersed in Soo-yun's gentle embrace and kiss. She had completely forgotten to resist and could only involuntarily follow. When Soo-yun awkwardly unbuttoned Ruan Qingxuang's back bra, Ruan Qingxuang seemed to have been awakened by thunder. It wasn't that she didn't want to push Soo-yun away, but her hands didn't have any strength at all. She couldn't push Soo-yun away at all. Or, in fact, she didn't really want to push Soo-yun away. Don't guess a girl's thoughts. Don't guess. You won't understand even if you guess. Soo-yun's body pressed Ruan Qingxuang heavily onto the sofa. The entire room was only left with the sound of heavy breathing. The ambiguous atmosphere spread to every inch of the room and finally all gathered at the sofa. When Soo-yun completely grasped the ball of gentleness in his hands, Soo-yun didn't want to suppress his emotions at all. What would come would come. Since they loved each other, why did they have to torture each other? Let the storm come more fiercely. When Soo-yun took off his jacket and revealed his strong body, Ruan Qingxuang's expression was even more delicate, like a budding rose. However, a budding rose wasn't the most beautiful. A blooming rose was the most charming. Today, Soo-yun wanted to turn Ruan Qingxuang, who was like a budding girl, into a brilliant rose woman in full bloom. Just as the rose was about to bloom, the sound of a car driving into the yard woke both of them up completely. F***ck. Soo-yun's heart was full of hatred. If Qin didn't come back so suddenly, wouldn't he have hit a home run? The passion just now was like a dream. Ruan Qingxuang quickly tidied up her clothes. Even if something happened between her and Soo-yun and let Qin find out, she would never choose to do it at this time. After all, Qin was still outside and hadn't come back, but they were doing it in the room. It was really unreasonable. Soo-yun was also very panicked, as if he was caught stealing something. This was really too much for Qin. Before Qin got out of the car and entered the house, Soo-yun also quickly put on his clothes. When both of them were dressed, they looked at each other and felt their faces were burning. Ruan Qingxuang couldn't believe that she could do what she did just now. It was really crazy, really incredible. At least, she still couldn't believe that she could do such a crazy thing. Qin pushed the door and entered. Seeing Soo-yun and Ruan Qingxuang standing at the door and looking at her, she really felt uncomfortable for a while. What are you doing? Door gods? Qin changed her shoes and asked Soo-yun, are you Zhong Kue, Qin Xiong, or Wei Qigong? Soo-yun was stunned for a moment. You came back so soon. It seems that you are very relieved to leave things to the pigeon. If I had known, I would have let you come back with us. Ruan Qingxuang always thought so. Qin Wan smiled at Ruan Qingxuang. Sister Wan I also helped Lin Gu deal with the aftermath. Anyway, I am also a police officer. At that time, Nakamura Kahiko was not dead. If I left, it would be against my professional ethics. In fact, Qin Wan was very clear that it was right for her to stay. It had nothing to do with professional ethics. It was only because Lin Gu explained to her how Su Yun made the choice at that time. Otherwise, she would really be confused about Su Yun's choice between her and Ruan Qingxuang. Why did he choose Ruan Qingxuang and not her? Even if she was caught because of her own trouble, she would still be confused. But now it was different. She knew that Su Yun didn't choose between them, so naturally, she felt more comforted. Listening to what you said, Nakamura Kahiko is dead? Su Yun was stunned for a moment. On the way back, I have been thinking about it. Based on your compliance with professional ethics, you definitely wouldn't agree with Lin Gu doing it in front of you. Even if this person deserved to die, you would punish him according to the law. Even if the law didn't have enough evidence to punish him, you wouldn't use lynching. Now, it seems that you have changed. Qin Wan shook her head. It's not Lin Gu, it's Nakamura Kahiko himself. He tried to drive away. You know, his hands were handcuffed, and I don't need to say more about what happened to him. Su Yun frowned. He is really crazy. However, you may be right. Qin Wan lowered her head and thought, maybe I have really changed. If some people can always use their own ways to escape the punishment of the law, then it is not a problem with the law itself, but a problem with the law enforcers and criminals. For such people, I am really wondering if lynching is really more suitable for them. Don't think so much. Even if it is lynching, you don't need to do it. Su Yun smiled slightly. There are all kinds of people in the world. Not all professions that sound bad are bad people. Killers are also divided into those without conscience and those with conscience. Not everyone in a good job is a good person. There are also bastards who take advantage of the people and bully them. Qin Wan raised her head, but I believe that the chairman will definitely improve all of this. The chairman said that he will use strong medicine to cure diseases, the determination to punish chaos, and the courage to cut off the wrist to resolutely carry on the construction of the party's party style and the fight against corruption to the end. Every cadre must remember the principle of not stretching out their hands, or they will be caught. Seeing good people is not enough. Seeing bad people is not enough. Su Yun nodded. It depends on how the people below implement it. For many years, Hua Xiao's officialdom has policies and countermeasures. It is impossible that all the people in the officialdom will be like Lu Fei and Lu Qingyu. The two are the protagonists of Dream University's Official Road and Pinnacle of Power, respectively. Ruan Qingxuang saw that Qin Wan was safe and relaxed. The country's affairs will naturally be handled by the country's leaders. You don't have to worry so much. Are you feeling hungry now? Do you want me to prepare some supper? Su Yun and Qin Wan nodded without hesitation. To be honest, although they had eaten a lot at dinner, they were really hungry now. After all, the trip to Yunming Mountain, even if they were just nervous, they had eaten all the food in their stomachs. Ruan Qingxuang smiled helplessly and went straight to the kitchen. She didn't dare to look at Su Yun now. Before Qin Wan came back, the scene of the two of them on the sofa was still vivid in her mind. Just thinking about it made her blush. Qin Wan sat comfortably on the sofa, stretched, and breathed a long sigh of relief. I just received a call on the way here. It was from the Bureau's anti-drug team. They said that Sanpai has confessed. He said what he should and shouldn't say. They just want to be lenient. Su Yun was stunned. He thought that Sanpai could hold on for a night. He didn't expect that this coward could hold on for only a few hours. Haha, it was not his fault. People who were stubborn would bow in front of evidence. Sanpai was afraid that Su Yun would really bring Chong here to testify against him. By then, he wouldn't be able to hold on. As soon as Sanpai relaxed, the others were quick to follow. Su Yun smiled. Trust me, right? Chapter 492. After supper, Qin Wan received a call from someone in the bureau. They said that San Pai had confessed everything. He admitted everything he had done. Originally, they thought that they could rest. However, Smiling Tiger suddenly volunteered to be interrogated and confessed all the evil deeds he had committed. The two people who had been stubborn at first had finally relented. Their colleagues in the narcotics unit thought that it was all a dream. However, when they saw San Pai's and Smiling Tiger's fingerprints, they were completely relieved. The only thing that puzzled them was that the first thing they did was to lift up their clothes and ask for immediate medical attention. Their abdomens were bruised, as if they had been beaten up. That made the people present very puzzled. Because they were all detained separately, no one would approach them and beat them up. Moreover, even if they were locked up together, they all knew that each other was a big boss. It was absolutely impossible for them to have any conflicts with each other. When Qin Wan heard that, she couldn't help but look at Su Yun. It seemed that Su Yun didn't really have the ability to beat people up without leaving any injuries. Instead, he was able to hide the injuries from the beginning until he left. That was a clever trick. She should learn it. In the future, it would definitely be a good move when interrogating criminals. Let's see who dared not to confess obediently. Because these important criminals had started to take the initiative to confess, the colleagues in the bureau hoped that Qin Wan could go. After all, she was the deputy director who was mainly responsible for this matter. Things had progressed by leaps and bounds. Naturally, it was better for her to go. Qin Wan wasn't the kind of lazy official who didn't care about anything after work. She was such an active and responsible person. Even if her colleagues didn't ask her to go, she would definitely go and take a look. I drove your car there. My car was also hit by you too hard. Qin Wan hung up the phone and directly left with Su Yun's car keys. She was right. The Golf R was beyond recognition. After all, there were collisions in the front and back, and the left side was severely scratched. Su Yun could only call the garage tomorrow to tow the car. Although Qin Wan had left again, the passion between Su Yun and Ruan Qingshuang could not continue. Ruan Qingshuang did not dare to raise her head to look at Su Yun for the entire night. Perhaps it was because Qin Wan's sudden return that broke her courage. At least after Qin Wan left, Ruan Qingshuang still looked very unnatural. She hurriedly said to sleep early and quickly went back to her room. Her heart was beating so fast that she didn't dare to face Su Yun again. After Qin Wan left, her heart suddenly surged. She realized that she really wanted to continue what had just happened. This thought was too terrifying for Ruan Qingshuang, so she could only choose to escape. But she was very clear about her own mentality. She also admitted that she was not what she appeared to be. But she didn't dare to show it. Because once that kind of desire was shown, she felt as if she had become a bad woman. Su Yun returned to his room and quickly walked out of the previous dream. Since Ruan Qingshuang chose to escape, he would not force her to do anything. This kind of thing should be let nature take its course. No one could guarantee what would happen in the next second. Since he was interrupted by Qin Wan, it meant that Su Yun should not break the 25 years of virginity that he had left in his body today. After a simple shower, Su Yun sat cross-legged on the bed. Recently, he had little contact with Guagua, so his strength did not have any big or incredible changes. It did not have the intention of advancing by leaps and bounds. After checking his qi, Su Yun was satisfied with the stability of his state of mind. At least there were no unstable factors. But this also didn't make sense, because that day when Su Yun was about to do something with Zhuo Meiyan, he once again fainted for no reason. This kind of fainting gave him a headache. This kind of fainting was sudden, unstable, and without any warning, and from various aspects, it was something that greatly troubled Su Yun. Fortunately, he fainted when it was not important. Fortunately, he fainted when there were people around. If it was another possibility, such as when he was driving on the mountain road today, if he suddenly fainted, the consequences would be very terrible. Su Yun frowned again. This problem had to be solved. He decided to rest early today and ask Yu Maren out tomorrow to let her see what was wrong with his body. If even she could not help him, then he could only resign himself to fate. Qin Wan was busy the whole night in the station. According to the confession provided by Yi Fala, the few people who were caught were all top leaders. When they confessed everything, even more people were implicated. Qin Wan'er sorted out all the information overnight. In the end, she chose to erase Chong, who was mentioned by Pai San. Although Chong touched this thing, he did not sell it, nor did he harm his brothers. Although he and San Pai were in the middle of a negotiation, it was fortunate that Su Yun stopped them in time. At this time, the director suddenly opened the door of Qin Wan'er's room. Qin Wan'er hurriedly stood up. "Hello, director." "Little Qin, I heard about what you got last night. You did well. Young people should be motivated. I am very optimistic about you. Come on, do well." The director smiled. "You were so tired last night. Go back and rest today. Go, I will allow you to have a leave." Qin Wan'er smiled and nodded. "Thank you, director." After watching the director leave, Qin Wan'er deeply stretched. She was interrogated one by one in the interrogation room and listened to what they had done last night. She really felt that her bones were about to crack. After packing up, Qin Wan'er decided to go home and have a good rest. This case was gradually coming to an end. She finally did not need to worry about it every day. When Qin Wan'er walked to the car, she saw Xiao Zhang from the technical department. Xiao Zhang smiled and said to Qin Wan'er, "Director Qin, did you work overtime again? It has been really hard for you recently." "It was not hard. It was what he should do." Qin Wan'er smiled. This Xiao Zhang was very good. He was warm-hearted. According to Qin Wan'er's age, Xiao Zhang should really call him brother. Although he was 28, he was older than Qin Wan'er. But in this kind of unit, being older was not a skill. Being a senior official was a senior. So, Qin Wan'er was one level higher. "You drove your boyfriend's car here?" Xiao Zhang enviously reached out and touched the black Porsche Cayenne. "Director Qin, you really make the big girls and little wives in our bureau envy you to death. You are so capable. You can solve Yi Fala's case and become a divisional cadre. Your boyfriend is so handsome and rich. What does he do?" Qin Wan'er was stunned by Brother Zhang's words. "Boyfriend? This car? This car is Su Yun's." No, although Su Yun drove to the police station, he did not meet Brother Zhang. Why did he say that? It's okay if you are embarrassed to say it. "Director Qin, I heard from a few girls in our unit that they saw a handsome guy driving a Cayenne pick you up." Xiao Zhang smiled. "I don't mean anything else. Although I'm not married, I know that I'm definitely not worthy of Chief Qin." Chief Qin, take care. I'll go to the office over there first. The people from the Criminal Investigation Department are looking for me. Goodbye. Qin Wan'er said politely. Phew, people's mouths nowadays are really loose. Su Yun only came to the police station to pick her up once, and the news spread like wildfire. It really made people speechless. She really did not understand what these people were thinking. Just when Qin Wan'er was distracted, a person suddenly appeared behind her. It is normal for others to gossip. After all, my brother is so handsome and drove a 2 million car in front of you. Others must have a very deep impression. No one knew when Lin Ge had suddenly appeared near the police station. Qin Wan'er was shocked. She turned around and stared at him. What are you doing? You scared me to death. Why are you here? Lin Ge shrugged. Then where should I be? Since you are a police officer, I naturally have to come to the police station to take a look. Police sister, after all, I have the specialty of my profession, and I also have the sensitivity of my profession. Your profession is destined for me to pay attention to. Although I call you sister, and you did not drag me down yesterday, and you may be promoted to my sister-in-law in the future, I still can't help but come to take a look at you. I am afraid that you will suddenly have a great heart and sell me out. Qin Wan'er stared at Lin Ge fiercely. Boy, did you go to Su Yun's place? You should go and ask your brother first. Ask him if I still need to doubt you. I will give you 3 seconds. You better disappear from my sight immediately. Otherwise, I will immediately arrange for someone to catch you. Do you believe me? 1. As soon as the countdown started, Lin Gu directly turned around and quickly left the police station. Soon, he disappeared from Qin Wanner's sight. I am so angry. Qin Wanner snorted. At this time, a few female colleagues in the household registration department happened to pass by. After seeing Qin Wanner, they all said, "Good morning, Director Qin. You are leaving so early in the morning? TSK, TSK, TSK. This car is so stylish. Whose car is it? With the salary of our bureau, I am afraid that 1 year's income is not enough to pay for the car's insurance." Qin Wanner could hear that there was a hidden meaning in their words. They were simply mocking and ridiculing her. She did not hold back. "Yes, I am going home to sleep now. The director has specially approved my leave. You did not come at this time, did you? Is the household registration department so free? Do you think that there aren't enough complaints about your poor work attitude in the mailboxes for reports and complaints? Do you really think that after being admitted to the organization, you will have an iron rice bowl for the rest of your life? Humph, survival of the fittest in any field is the law that does not change." Qin Wanner's words were ruthless. The few people in front of her left with their heads covered in dust. Occasionally, they would say a few words to vent their jealousy. If they really wanted to quarrel with Qin Wanner, they would not dare. Everyone knew that Qin Wanner had reached the division level at such a young age. If she was promoted to a high official in the future, they would definitely have to ask her for help. At least on the surface, their relationship would not be so stiff. Who asked her, Director Qin, to be in a bad mood today? Su Yun's little brother dared to doubt her. She had to discuss this matter with Su Yun. She had to make Su Yun apologize to her on behalf of his little brother. What kind of person was he? If she had not helped to clean up the scene yesterday, perhaps this matter would have become the headline that Teacher Wang dreamed of. Chapter 493. When Qin Wanner drove home to buy breakfast, the house was already empty. Ruan Qingxuang woke up early to make breakfast. She left the house before Su Yun woke up. After she left, she sent a message to Su Yun, telling him to wake up early or the milk would get cold. Su Yun knew that she must be afraid of embarrassment. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used a message to wake him up. Ruan Qingxuang sat on the subway. If people knew that the entire Xinkai Hotel was hers, they would definitely explode. What was low-key? This was low-key. After Su Yun received the message, he didn't stay idle. He immediately got up and ate the breakfast Ruan Qingxuang prepared. Then, he drove the badly damaged Golf R and quickly left. He first found a car repair shop, agreed on the price, and left the car. Then, he went to the intersection to find Yu Meiren. When Mu Fei saw Su Yun again at the door, his forehead was sweating. "Leader Yen, why are you here again? F*CK, can't I come?" Su Yun glared at him. "Mu Fei, the last time I went in, the two of us colluded. This time, if you don't let me in, I'll immediately call the leader. Anyway, I've already been fired. I'm afraid no one will dare to do anything to me if I violate the rules. But you're different, right? Hee, don't you think so?" Mu Fei's face was like an old eggplant. He stared at Su Yun with his eyes wide open. "Team Yen, you're not being nice. I already helped you last time. You can't just..." Perhaps he felt that this word was not nice. Mu Fei swallowed his words after saying it. He had no choice. After all, he did not dare to offend Yen Long Hee, burning the bridge after crossing the river. Su Yun took over. "Okay, I am not teasing you. Anyway, I already did it once. It doesn't matter if you bring me in again. Anyway, you know when there is someone and when there is no one. What are you afraid of? If you have so little courage, do you think you can survive in the Dragon Brigade?" Mu Fei smiled bitterly and shook his head. Forget it. Whatever Su Yun said, he had his reasons. He could only admit defeat. At this time, there was probably no one around. Everyone was busy, so Mu Fei took the risk to bring Su Yun into the hotel again. He really hoped that this investigation would end soon. Then, he wouldn't have to worry about Captain Yen Long making things difficult for him. This pressure was too much for him to bear. When Su Yun came to Yu Marin's room again, he asked Mu Fei to do what he was supposed to do. He turned on the TV alone in the room. As he didn't dare to turn up the volume, he could only watch the silent TV. At this time, it was time to watch Master Chaplin's works. Researchers would usually choose to take a break after an hour and a half. Su Yun waited in Yu Marin's room for about an hour before Yu Marin appeared. When she opened the door, Su Yun heard their conversation. He was so nervous that he didn't even have time to turn off the TV. He quickly rushed into the bathroom. If someone saw them, Su Yun would really put Mu Fei in trouble. After all, Mu Fei had helped him twice. If Su Yun set him up again, he would be letting Mu Fei down. Sister Yu, when do you think we can leave? I heard that Darong Electronics Factory is going to be renovated and construction will start after the new year. I don't know if it is true. A soft girl's voice entered the room with Yu Marin. Su Yun, who was hiding in the bathroom, could only try his best to lighten his breathing. After all, they were all members of the Divine Dragon Brigade. Even if they were doctors, they were more or less capable. If he made the slightest sound, it was very likely that he would be discovered. Yu Marin smiled. These rumors are groundless. Think about it. If Darong Electronics is really going to be renovated, they would have started construction long ago. The Japanese are not like us. Don't listen to those people's nonsense. If Darong Electronics is really going to be renovated, we will definitely get first-hand news. Oh, that's right. Sister Yu, you are so thoughtful. But the person who dares to burn down Darong Electronics is too powerful. I really want to see who that person is. That voice said with longing. Beauty Yu looked at the television in the room and was stunned for a moment. She had been really dizzy these few days. She couldn't sleep for the past 2 nights and sometimes forgot to turn off the television. Could it be that she forgot to turn off the television when she left this morning? Forget it. I really can't remember. Haha. I will go wash my hands. Yu Marin just smiled and walked to the bathroom without saying anything. Su Yun was stunned when he heard the footsteps. Yu Marin was stunned when she opened the door. Fortunately, she was familiar with Su Yun. Otherwise, she would have screamed. This angle is good. At least no one can see Su Yun in the bathroom. Yu Marin hurriedly closed the door. She widened her eyes and mouthed to Su Yun. Why are you here? Are you trying to scare me to death? Su Yun's smile was especially charming. He also mouthed silently. I have no choice. Who knew that you would come back with other people? I have nowhere to hide. I can only hide here temporarily. Yu Marin shook her head helplessly. Sigh. What should I say to you? You know that it is against the rules to come here suddenly, but you still violate the rules again and again. I don't know what to do with you. Sister Yu? The girl in the room felt that something was wrong. Yu Marin went into the bathroom to wash her hands, but there was no sound of water. Yu Marin was shocked and turned on the tap. What's wrong? Oh, nothing. I heard no sound at all just now. I thought you were in trouble. Yu Marin pointed at Su Yun and mouthed. Listen carefully. You are not allowed to make a sound if I don't call you. Su Yun nodded obediently. He knew the seriousness of violating the rules. If Yu Marin was punished because of him, he would feel guilty. Oh, didn't you say that you are going to find Sister Wu to get that thing? Yu Marin walked out of the bathroom. Sister Wu should be in her room now. Go and find her. Let's go together. Yu Marin shook her head. I suddenly have a headache. I haven't been resting well recently. You go. I need to rest. Oh, okay. Sister Yu, have a good rest. I will come and play with you later. The girl smiled and left Yu Marin's room. Beauty Yu hurriedly went to lock the door, her heart pounding. She was excited not because of the violation of discipline. It was as if she was hiding a boy in a girl's room, so she felt like she was having an affair. This feeling made Beauty you feel uncomfortable all over and especially awkward. Hearing Yu Meren closing the door, Su Yun did not wait any longer. He walked out of the bathroom. Phew! I almost suffocated. Didn't I tell you to come out only when I asked you to? Yu Meren stared at Su Yun and pointed at the TV. Are you the one who turned it on? Hee hee, what's wrong? Did you know that it was me the moment you saw the TV on? Su Yun raised his eyebrows. I'm giving you a heads up. I don't want you to be shocked when you see me. Yu Meren said angrily, you almost scared me to death. When she finally calmed down, Yu Meren suddenly thought of a question. She stared at Su Yun very seriously. Su Yun, tell me the truth. Did you do the arson case at Darong Electronics some time ago? Look into my eyes and tell me the truth. Su Yun swallowed. Didn't the newspaper report that the third son of Ampere wanted to build an army first? He angered the hot-blooded youths of Huaxia. So, the hot-blooded youths attacked Darong Electronics in the middle of the night. The law can't punish the masses. Anyway, no one was caught. Yu Meren nodded. So you did it. F***K. Su Yun was dumbfounded. What did I say that I did it? I didn't admit it at all. How did I do it? You can't say that. Okay, don't deny it. You've had a habit since you were young, do you know? Yu Meren said, we've known each other for so many years. Since we were young, whenever you lie in front of me, your eyes will move around uncomfortably. I'm afraid even you don't know this, but I know it very well. Su Yun's jaw almost dropped. He told so many lies when he was young. Did Yu Meren see through it all? Once, he peeked at Yu Meren taking a bath. Later, Yu Meren asked him if it was him. He shook his head like a rattle and didn't admit it. Another time, Yin Long asked Yu Meren in front of Yu Meren if he liked her. He shook his head and didn't admit it. Did Yu Meren know that he was lying? Then wouldn't he be embarrassed? Just now, your eyes were obviously in a trance. Yu Meren said, when the news reported it, I knew that it was absolutely impossible for this to happen without any organization or arrangement, because the same group of people first burned down the Darong building and then rushed to the Darong Electronics factory to do something. This matter wasn't investigated to the end because Darong Electronics is indeed not a good thing. Others ask you and you don't dare to admit it, but I ask you and you still don't dare to admit it? I won't arrest you. Su Yun shrugged his shoulders. Forget it, forget it. There's no harm in admitting it. I was really the one who did it. Is it because of what I told you? You knew that they excreted something contaminated with nuclear radiation in Huaxia, so... Yu Meren frowned and asked. And? Since Su Yun admitted it, he dared to say anything. Anyway, he was sure that Yu Meren wouldn't harm him. Since you said so, it means that you are sure. Then why should I tolerate them doing these things on our Huaxia land? Wouldn't it be easier to just burn it down? Yu Meren gave him a thumbs up and smiled brightly. It's really your style of doing things. Haha, if I knew it would be like this, I would have told you earlier. Su Yun froze for a moment. Yu Meren's smile was so beautiful that he was stunned for a moment. I asked you just now, but you didn't admit it. Then what did you come to me today to tell me? Yu Meren said, aren't you here to tell me about this matter? Su Yun shook his head. Of course not. I came to you because I have something important to ask you for help. I mentioned to you that my body is in trouble last time. It happened again 2 days ago, so I want you to help me check the root of the problem. If it continues like this, I'm worried that I will be in big trouble. Yu Meren put away her smile and frowned slightly. You mean, you fainted again? How can this be? After you left, I studied it. If it's because of some mysterious power produced by the Zixahoya people that you can't absorb and adapt to, it's normal for you to faint once. But if it happens again, it's not right. Chapter 494. Yu Meren looked at Su Yun worriedly. She was helpless to the extreme. You can still laugh at a time like this? Then I can't just cry, right? Su-yun shrugged helplessly. What do you want me to say about you? You clearly know the seriousness of the matter, yet you still don't take it to heart. Do you know that this is very abnormal? It's obvious that there's something in your body that's fighting against this external force. That's why it's forcing you into a coma. Your coma isn't something you can control. It's your own protection of your mental state. Only by falling into a coma can you resolve the conflict between these two forces and allow all your bodily functions to function normally. Yu Meiren couldn't do anything to Su-yun. Obviously, the matter was very serious. Otherwise, Yu Meiren wouldn't be so serious. However, Su-yun's character was like this. No matter how serious the matter was, he couldn't solve the problem with a bitter face. Since he couldn't solve the problem with a bitter face, why should he let his mood be depressed? It was better to be happy. Maybe the bad thing could be overcome in a good mood. Hearing you say that, I feel more at ease. Su-yun analyzed. At least my body knows how to protect itself. Obviously, my coma is a good thing. At least my state of mind is not hurt by the conflict between these two forces. Yu Meiren looked at Su-yun very seriously. Yes, you are not hurt now. But once you are hurt, it will be very serious. That will be very serious, because it is very likely that all your years of cultivation will be completely destroyed. I don't need to explain what that means. You should know very well. Su-yun's heart was really pulled taut by Yu Meiren's words. He couldn't deny it. Yu Meiren's words were a bit too frightening. You mean, if I am hurt by the conflict between these two forces, I may become a cripple. A cripple. Yu Meiren firmly told him the words that Su-yun didn't dare to say. She didn't want Su-yun to think that this was something to laugh about. She wanted Su-yun to treat this matter seriously. For a person who had cultivated for so many years, this was definitely not a small matter. It was a disaster. Su-yun didn't speak for a long time. Before Yu Meiren said these words, he still felt lucky that it wasn't so serious. It was just that Yu Meiren saw that he was too relaxed and was angry and deliberately scared him. But now he was very sure that Yu Meiren wasn't joking. The word, cripple, was an absolute taboo for cultivators. Su-yun had been in the Dragon Brigade for 20 years. He had been in the Dragon Fury team for 15 years. He had experienced too many things like this. Many people could be injured during missions or battles. Once injured, the injured person would lose all of their years of cultivation. For them, this was more terrible than a death sentence. Because once all of their cultivation was lost, it meant that they would become a cripple. A cripple who would never be able to cultivate his state of mind. If they were born as an ordinary person, they would be like this for the rest of their life. They wouldn't feel any difference. But for Su-yun, he started to see the door when he was 5 years old. He knew that people could become so extraordinary. When Su-yun was alive, he treated this time as a master who had just seen the door. If he suddenly became an ordinary person now, he couldn't accept this fact at all. I'm not joking with you, and I'm not trying to scare you. Yu Meiren said, now you must shut down your state of mind and stop the growth of your state of mind. I need to conduct a comprehensive examination on you. When will it start? Su-yun agreed without hesitation. Of course, he hoped that it would be as soon as possible. Yu Meiren frowned. I don't know if Nakamura Kahiko still wants to revive Darong Electronics. If he still wants to revive Darong Electronics, I'm afraid I won't be able to calm down and start the treatment on you. Let me hear the specific news tomorrow. I don't want to be interrupted by other emergencies during the treatment. Then you'll be in danger. Su-yun didn't dare to joke about this. If you're not sure about Nakamura Kahiko, then I can tell you something. Nakamura Kahiko is dead. What? Yu Meiren widened her eyes and was shocked. Yesterday, there was news that Nakamura Kahiko was seen eating with the builder and wanted to redecorate Darong building. Are you kidding me? But even if Nakamura Kahiko is dead, he still has a son, Nakamura Junji. Su-yun continued, Nakamura Junji is also dead, and I killed him with my own hands. Yu Meiren covered her mouth with her hand. Oh my God! Can you say something more shocking? When did you make a move? Last night. Su-yun, originally, I thought that after I burned down Darong Electronics, Nakamura Kahiko would know the reason, and he would obediently leave Huaxia and go back to Japan to do some highly polluting nuclear weapons research. But now it seems that not only did he not leave Huaxia, but he also found a way to find out about my existence and then retaliated against me. Even I was attacked by Japanese IGA Ryu ninjas when I was in Koto some time ago. You left Dragon's Fury alone. Why are you still so troublesome? You don't even have a helper by your side. Aren't you afraid that something will happen to you? Yu Meiren was angry and worried about Su-yun. She looked anxious and uneasy. Fortunately, nothing happened to Su-yun. Otherwise, she really didn't know how to face it. Su-yun's answer was clear and concise. Even if I left Dragon's Fury, I am still a citizen of Huaxia. I have the blood of the dragon flowing in my body. Since I know that Nakamura Kahiko of Darong Electronics did such a despicable thing in Huaxia, of course, I won't be merciful, not to mention that I just left Dragon's Fury. Even if I am really a useless person, I will find a way to burn down his Darong Electronics factory. Yu Meiren looked at Su-yun's righteous indignation and comforted him. Okay, I know you, I understand you. However, you can rest assured that we have dealt with any suspicious pollution they eliminated. Although nuclear pollution sources were found, they were all eliminated in time. It did not cause any pollution to Shenzhen. You can rest assured. If it really polluted our land, I must pull out the nuclear power plant on his island and airdrop it to Ampere's third son's house. Su-yun snorted. Since Nakamura Kahiko and his son are dead, then I don't have to worry so much. I can give you a checkup today, Yu Meiren said, but I can't leave here yet. There are still some small things that need to be dealt with by the team. So, you have to stay here. Su-yun's head was a little big. Stay here? It's not convenient. How about I find a place and you go out with me? Yu Meiren shook her head. Of course not. I came to Shenzhen with orders and tasks. Going out without permission is against the rules. And if I stay here, I can find the things I need at any time. If you don't want to lose consciousness in time when you have another attack, then listen to me obediently. Otherwise, you will have to bear the consequences. How long will it take you to give me a medical treatment? Su-yun froze for a moment. Yu Meiren shook her head again. I'm not sure now. I have to do a comprehensive examination before I can make a conclusion. But I can tell you clearly that you won't be able to leave today. After a thorough examination, I will take your blood sample and send it to the laboratory for a test. I will also extract your microcells and do a full body massage. If it's fast, it can be done by tomorrow afternoon. If it's slow, it may take 3 or 5 days. After all, I can't stay in the room all the time. Su-yun smiled bitterly. 3 or 5 days. No way. Then I can't stay here for 3 or 5 days, right? Also, when I came here, Mu Fei brought me in. If I don't leave for 3 or 5 days, then he will definitely be suspicious. Moreover, aren't you afraid that he will gossip? He didn't dare. Yu Meiren said, if he dares to gossip, he will dare to stop you from coming in. You can rest assured that I will go back and explain to him. At least I can guarantee that he won't talk nonsense. Su-yun stared at Yu Meiren and said, is there no other way? No. Yu Meiren was very firm. Forget it, it was just a matter of 3 or 5 days. Besides, now that Nakamura Kahiko was dead, he didn't need to worry about Qin Wanner and Ruan Qingshuang. Cho Yun and Guagua were at school, so he could rest assured. At most, they would just treat this place as a sanatorium. Su-yun nodded. Okay, then I'll listen to you. About 20 minutes after Yu Meiren came back, the girl who had entered the room with Yu Meiren shouted outside the door again. Sister Yu, we should go. The director said that he has something to say. Okay, I'll put on my clothes and come right away. Yu Meiren nodded and then said to Su-yun seriously, you stay in my room. I'll find a way to ask for leave and come back later. I'm also going to get some simple medical equipment. Don't cause any trouble at this time. Su-yun saluted and said, Yes, sir. I promise to complete the task. Keep your voice down. Yu Maren glared at Su-yun, quickly put on her clothes and went out to urge the others to leave quickly. Su-yun lay on the bed, watching TV, and dialed Ruan Qingxuang's number to ask for leave. In order not to let Ruan Qingxuang worry, of course, he would not say that he was there for treatment. Sister Shuang, I have to deal with some personal matters these 2 days. I'm in Shenzhen, but it's not convenient for me to go back. If there's anything, just call me. Well, take care of yourself. Ruan Qingxuang was already used to Su-yun's life, so she did not ask too much. Oh, by the way, I sent the golf-R to the repair shop early in the morning. I'll text you the number and address of the repair shop later. When it's fixed, you can ask the hotel staff to pick up the car for you. Su-yun, don't do things in the hotel yourself. You're the boss. You just need to ask them to do it. Don't tire yourself out. Ruan Qingxuang said sweetly, I know. Go do your work. Don't worry about me. After hanging up the phone, Ruan Qingxuang still blushed because of what happened last night. But when she called just now, at least she was not so nervous that she could not speak. Chapter 495. After calling Ruan Qingxuang, Su-yun dialed Tang Jiu's number. How's the discussion on the project going? Have you signed the contract with Zhua Meiyan? Tang Jiu was quite excited when he received Su-yun's call. Everything has been signed. I've already arranged for people to come over. I've also discussed with the designer. They will arrange for people to be here when we start construction. This way, we can build according to their design suggestions and avoid unnecessary trouble in the future. Sister Meiyan wants to finish as soon as possible. That's good. Did you encounter any trouble? Su-yun was quite concerned about this. After all, it was not easy to build a construction site now. Unless one was a local bully, no one would dare to provoke them. In an unfamiliar place, no local bully would let go of this opportunity to tear off a piece of fat meat. There was indeed such a thing. Tang Jiu smiled faintly. There are always hooligans everywhere. Of course, there will be people who want a piece of the cake. Su-yun frowned. If you encounter any trouble, contact Shirley. After all, his power in Qingdao is not something that other hooligans dare to provoke. Since you have this relationship, you must grasp it. At least he can guarantee that you won't encounter disgusting little things every day when you're building in Qingdao. It's easy to send the king of hell away, but difficult to deal with the little ghosts. With his help to clean up those little bastards, you'll have an easier time. Tang Jiu said, There's no need to invite him. Shirley is quite concerned about this. He's a local and knows the ways of the local hooligans. He arrived on the first day when someone came to make trouble for us. I can see that this person has a high prestige in Qingdao. A few words and a few waves of people immediately left. That's good. This is the effect I want. It seems that Shirley is a fastidious person. Needless to say, he knows how to settle these little things. Su-yun smiled. Okay. When you see him later, tell him that I'll invite him for a drink next time. Tang Jiu grunted and asked, You suddenly left. Did you go to Hadong? Have you dealt with the matter of the medicinal cuisine hotel? Su-yun still laughed and said, Worry about your own business. I can handle my own business, don't worry. I'll say hello to Zhua Meiyan later, and I won't call her again. Well, I'll hang up first. I have something to do here. Before Tang Jiu could say anything else, Su-yun hung up the phone because he heard footsteps coming from the corridor. They were getting closer and closer. In order not to expose his location, Su-yun immediately chose to keep quiet. Soon, the footsteps stopped at the door. Su-yun was really nervous. Buzz. As the electronic lock on the door was unlocked, a person pushed the door open and entered. Su-yun was very clear that this was definitely not Yu Maren's footsteps. At the critical moment, Su-yun's figure flashed into the bathroom again. This time, he turned off the TV in advance. A sturdy figure walked into the room. Su-yun did not close the door, so he could see everything that was happening outside through the crack in the door. "Humph, little beauty, I won't let you escape from my palm." The sturdy man muttered to himself, "Since you're checking out tomorrow, then tonight is my last chance. Hee, don't worry. I won't let you find out." Su-yun saw through the crack in the door that the sturdy man was fiddling with something with his back facing him. However, the man quickly finished what he was doing and turned to leave. Hearing the door close, Su-yun immediately came out of the bathroom. His first thought was that the sturdy man was a pervert who wanted to install a miniature camera to secretly take photos of Yu-merin. Therefore, the first thing Su-yun did was to reverse the position where the man was standing and then start looking for clues. Maybe Su-yun was thinking too much, because he looked carefully for more than half an hour and did not find anything suspicious. Then what did the man do just now? Just when Su-yun was still thinking about this, Yu-merin suddenly came back. "Do you know what we talked about in the meeting just now? We're going back tomorrow." Yu-merin looked depressed. It was impossible for her to solve Su-yun's problem in one day. It seems that this time, there's really no other way. We can only break the rules. Su-yun did not think too much about what Yu-merin said to him. He asked directly, "Who came with you in the army? Is there a fatty who is less than 1.8 meters tall but weighs more than 100 kilograms? Yu-merin shook her head. "I don't remember anyone in our army with such a physique. More than 100 kilograms. Isn't that like a bear?" "Then who was it?" Su-yun frowned. Yu-merin stared at Su-yun. "What are you talking about? Why are you being so mysterious? I'm talking business with you. Can you be more serious and think about how I can get out of this? Tomorrow, we'll check out and go back. If I can't leave before then, you'll have to follow me back to the army to check your body." Su-yun shook his head like a rattledrum. "Before I left, I told Wang Yi that since he was the one who kicked me out in front of everyone, if he wants me to go back, he'll have to invite me back in person. Otherwise, I'll definitely not go back. You know my temper. Then you have to think of a way. For you, I'm willing to break the rules. You can take me away, but you have to convince Mu Fei. He can bend the rules on some things, but this is absolutely impossible." Yu-merin said, "He definitely won't help us on this kind of principled issue." Su-yun thought for a while. "That's not a problem. I'll think of a way. Then this afternoon, you have to think of a way to prepare everything that can be used or needed." "What time is your dinner?" 5:30. Yu-merin said. "I'll wait for you in the room when everyone goes to eat. Then I'll look for an opportunity to take you away." Su-yun. "As for Mu Fei, if he says he has a way, then he definitely has a way." Yu-merin nodded. "Then I'll listen to you. After lunch, I'll come to the room to find you." Su-yun nodded. He dared to do this because he believed that if Yu-merin went back and explained the situation to Wang Yi wouldn't punish her. After all, among the younger generation of doctors, Yu-merin was a rare talent. The Dragon Brigade needed such an outstanding doctor like her. They also needed her to train more outstanding doctors and strengthen the Dragon Brigade's medical unit. In a truly brave and fierce special forces, soldiers were indispensable. Similarly, doctors were also very important and indispensable. A small mission might not seem to require a doctor. The winner takes all, it was very simple. But for a large mission like a war between two countries, doctors were absolutely indispensable. The level of a doctor meant the fighting strength of a soldier. To give a simple example, in a game, as long as a team needed to fight a big boss, they would need a doctor. Unless the team was made up of soldiers who didn't care about spending millions of dollars, everyone would need a doctor. Then I'll take advantage of the fact that you haven't dismissed the meeting. Su-yun finished speaking and pointed to the table. "That's right, before I come back, you'd better not touch anything on this table." Yu-merin then realized that something was wrong. "Why did you turn the table upside down? The TV screen is facing inside. How can I watch?" Su-yun didn't explain much. He was afraid that if he said that a stranger had sneaked in, Yu-merin would feel worried and afraid. Anyway, he would leave tonight. He hoped that she wouldn't think too much about other complicated things. I have my reasons for doing this. Remember my words, don't touch anything on this table. And Yu Meiren nodded and promised Su Yun. When he left, Su Yun still secretly said goodbye to Mu Fei. Mu Fei had a stomach full of bitterness, but he could only smile at Su Yun. He could only be glad that no one had discovered Leader Yan's appearance. Otherwise, he would have been unlucky. That's right, Mu Fei, I'll bring a friend to see you tonight. Su Yun. Mu Fei was stunned for a moment and laughed twice. Who? You'll know when you see him. Su Yun said, don't worry about it now. Okay. Although Mu Fei said so, he didn't think so. Anyway, he could leave tomorrow. He would be more cautious tonight and be more careful. Everything would be fine once he got through it. After Su Yun returned home by taxi, he saw the Porsche Cayenne parked in the yard. He knew that Qin Wan-er was at home. Su Yun went upstairs and opened the door to Qin Wan-er's room. He saw Qin Wan-er curled up with the quilt on the bed. She was sleeping very comfortably. Qin Wan-er hadn't slept well for a few days. At this moment, she was lying on the bed in a deep sleep. Even if there was a gong or a drum in her ear, she wouldn't be woken up. After going downstairs again, Su Yun said softly, "Come in. Do you want me to invite you?" After a few seconds, Lin Gu directly pushed the door and came in. "Brother, you're back. I have something to explain to you. I have a reason to be worried about the policewoman. After all, it's a professional issue. I went to the police station this morning to find out. I was also afraid that she would." "Brother, you know this." "Well, I know. I should have told you. You don't have to be so worried." Su Yun said, "I have something to tell you. Since you're here, then I'll tell you. Help me do something tonight. Come with me." Then, finally, after Su Yun finished speaking with Lin Gu chuckled and said, "Absolutely no problem. Brother, don't mention such a small matter. Even if I have to climb a mountain of swords or dive into a pot of boiling oil, I won't hesitate." Su Yun stretched. With his brother next to him, he felt comfortable doing things. "What do you want to eat for lunch today? Let's cook at home. The thing I miss the most is that brother gave me a steamed bun when I was hungry." Lin Gu said, "After so many years, I still haven't forgotten the taste of that steamed bun. It's the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. Brother, I like to eat whatever you cook. I'm not picky." "I know you're not picky. I'm not picky either. Who said I was going to cook? Brat, you went to the Caribbean Sea for so long. It's impossible that you didn't learn some of the food there. Don't play dumb with me. Go, make some Caribbean food for me to try." Su Yun urged, "I'm a little hungry." Lin Gu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How could a host be like this? He was a guest here. Letting a guest cook. Chapter 496. Qin Wan-er was in a daze. Once a person's body was exhausted to the limit, they would always dream of beautiful things. Qin Wan-er's dream was beautiful. Soft beach, cute bikinis, sunbathing under the bright sun, and incomparably rich food. So fragrant, it must be very delicious. Also, there was a naked handsome guy. The naked handsome guy turned his head. How could it be Su Yun? Obviously, this was not a nightmare, but at least it was enough to wake Qin Wan-er up. Qin Wan-er was about to complain that this bastard Su Yun had suddenly broken into her dream and pulled her back to reality before she could enjoy the delicious food. She smelled a floating fragrance of delicious food. Yes, this was the smell. Qin Wan-er was stunned. Could it be that she was not dreaming? Was it a dream within a dream? She was still dreaming. No way. Was she going to direct a Qin Wan-er version of the Inception dream? As she was thinking, she reached out and pinched her inner thigh. Ouch. Pain. It was very painful. Immediately, a faint red mark was left on her white and tender thigh. Qin Wan-er blushed. She clearly did not remember when she had taken off all her clothes. She was only wearing a bra and panties. Luckily, there was no one at home. No, there was definitely something wrong. If there was no one at home, how could there be such a tempting smell from the kitchen? There was only one answer. Su-Yun was back. Chin Won-er's brain buzzed. She quickly put on her clothes and prayed 1,000 times in her heart. She hoped that Su-Yun did not come to her room and see her sleeping elegantly. Just as Chin Won was thinking, Su-Yun suddenly pushed open the door of Chin Won-er's room. "Yo, I was worried that I could not wake you up. I did not expect you to wake up yourself. You are already dressed. Get up quickly and come down to eat with us." Clothes were already dressed. What did this mean? Chin Won-er was very clear. This meant that Su-Yun must have seen her naked. Otherwise, he would not say such words. "You guys? Sister Frost is also back?" Chin Won-er was stunned. "No. Su-Yun, it's Lin Gu." Chin Won-er rolled her eyes and said, "Don't tell me you're treating this place as a shelter and taking in your little brother." Su-Yun laughed dryly. "Don't worry, he won't be staying here. I'm the one looking for him. Hurry up and get up for dinner. After dinner, help me clean up a room. We have guests tonight." Chin Won-er said, "Oh, what guest?" "Beautiful women." After Su-Yun finished speaking, he went downstairs. Chin Won-er snorted. She did not take Su-Yun's words seriously. How could a beautiful woman spend the night with another man? This joke was too big. After dinner, Chin Won-er said that she wanted to go to Shinkai Hotel to find Ruan Qingshuang. She did not want to stay at home with two big men. It was boring. She would rather find Sister Frost to go to the fitness center of Shinkai Hotel. Many girls in Shenzhen wanted to go but could not. Except for the guests who could go for free, if others wanted to go, the annual membership fee was 66,600 yuan. It was not something that ordinary families could afford. Since Chin Won-er had a free opportunity, why not go and see it? Su-Yun kept talking to Lin Gu about his life on the island. In general, it was a place similar to Dragon's Fury. The training there was like hell. The childhood there was not as innocent as other children. They were born to be warriors. No matter what the goal was, no matter what the purpose was, they were born to be warriors. Speaking of which, Su-Yun was really surprised. He did not expect that the 20-year-old Lin Gu could break through the realm of a supermaster. This was definitely the youngest supermaster he had seen in his life. "You have been gifted since you were young. It seems that master was right. You are indeed more talented than others. Brother, don't tease me. No matter how talented I am not as talented as you. I am well aware of this." Lin Gu smiled and said, "Before I went out to sea, the old man spent all his power on me. Before that, I was only a level 7 master. Everything I have was exchanged with the old man's everything." Su-Yun was a little surprised. What happened to the evil god? Lin Gu shook his head. "I don't know how he is now, but he said himself that his time is almost up. So he asked all of us to leave the island. Because when I was 17, my meridians were injured by my enemies with hidden weapons. So it was very difficult for me to break through. The old man had already given me a death sentence, saying that it was impossible for me to break through the threshold of a supermaster. But I did not expect that in the end, he would use all his power to help me open up the injured meridians. Then he passed on the rest of his power to me. That's how I have the strength I have today." Su-Yun could actually understand the old man's intention. These things could not be taken with him when he was born, and could not be taken with him when he died. The fact that he chose to pass on his power to Lin Gu after knowing that he was about to die meant that he definitely understood Lin Ji's character. "Don't let him down." Su-Yun stood up and patted Lin Ji's shoulder. "It's about time. Let's go. When I need you to help, I will call you. You only need to delay for 5 minutes." "Don't worry, brother." Lin Gu nodded. After eating dinner, Yu Meiren participated in a general meeting. It was to summarize this matter, the principle of confidentiality, and the details of leaving tomorrow morning. By the time Yu Meiren came back, it was already 9:30 in the evening. Su Yun really waited until there was nothing he could do. He did not complain at all. "How are you going to tell Mu Fei?" Yu Meiren said embarrassedly. "If we leave in a while, what should we do? His principles are very strong. If he doesn't agree, then it will be difficult to advance or retreat." After saying that, Yu Meiren picked up the cup on the table behind her and said to herself, "I haven't drunk water all afternoon." Su Yun stared at Yu Meiren without moving. It was not known whether he had become stupid from waiting or was too tired to talk. Yu Meiren picked up a small box of tea beside the cup. She was stunned for a moment. Then she put some tea leaves in the cup and prepared to pour water. "When did this tea come from? I don't even remember." "Wait a minute." Su Yun suddenly said, "You don't remember the tea leaves?" "I don't remember." Yu Meiren shook her head. She had no impression at all. If it was tea leaves she brought, then it must be Noble Lady Lan. Because she usually only liked to drink Noble Lady Lan's oolong tea. But this tea is Longjing tea. Maybe someone left it here? Su Yun shook his head. "I told you not to touch anything on the table. I remember very clearly that when I saw you at noon, there was no such thing on the table." Su Yun had already remembered. After the person who sneaked in at noon left, he did not find anything suspicious. However, he ignored this box of tea leaves. Because this thing was really inconspicuous, it really would not make people feel suspicious. Yu Meiren was surprised. What was going on? Did the tea grow legs and run into her room? There must be a problem. The two of them said in unison. Yu Meiren opened the box of tea leaves. She gently fanned it with her hand and sniffed it with her nose. There was a light tea fragrance. However, after the tea fragrance, there was a trace of a special smell. This was definitely not the smell of tea leaves. There was definitely a problem. However, Yu Meiren could not guess what it was. Su Yun remembered the person's words and sneered. "You don't have to guess. I already have a rough idea of what it is." "Haha, in that case, let's wait a little longer. It won't be too late to leave after we meet this guest." Although Yu Meiren was full of doubts, she still listened to Su Yun's arrangement. She would leave with Su Yun when he said to leave. Since Su Yun said to meet a guest, she would wait and see who it was. About 20 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. "Miss Yu, are you there?" Just as Yu Meiren was about to speak, she was immediately stopped by Su Yun. Su Yun put his index finger between Yu Meiren's lips and made her swallow her answer. Then, he pointed to the bed and mouthed, "Lie on the bed and pretend to be asleep. I want to see which bastard wanted to drug you." Yu Meiren was shocked. Her beautiful face instantly turned pale. Fortunately, Su Yun was in front of her, so she did not cry out. However, this was indeed enough to scare her. "Miss Yu? Are you asleep?" "It's me. I'm GCG." The person outside the door asked softly again. Su Yun glanced at Yu Meiren, who was lying on the bed, and asked with his eyes. Yu Meiren widened her eyes and mouthed, "GCG is the owner of this hotel." "Bastard!" Su Yun snorted. "You dared to lay your hands on Yu Meiren. Fortunately, I met you. Otherwise, you would really be a villain. If I let you live comfortably today, my surname is not Su." Su Yun flashed into the bathroom and motioned for Yu Meiren to lie on the bed obediently and not move. At this moment, GCG could not help but use the room card to open the door of Yu Meiren's room. He rushed in and quickly locked the door, panting nervously. Yu Meiren lay on the bed with her eyes closed. Although she was also very nervous, she knew that as long as Su Yun was there, this fatty would never be a threat to her. GCG was the owner of this hotel. This hotel was run by his father. Now that his father was dead, he relied on this hotel to make a living. GCG was not a prodigal. At most, he liked to flirt with girls and sleep with them. So, he would not decline too quickly. This time, Yu Meiren and the others were staying here because GCG had an uncle who had an official position in the local military region and had some influence. This guy had been eyeing Yu Maren since the first day she came. However, because of Yu Maren's special identity, he did not dare to make a move. Now that he knew that Yu Maren was leaving tomorrow, he thought of a despicable method. He put the drugged tea in Yu Maren's room and prayed that Yu Maren would drink tea at night and then knock her out. Then, he would come in and do what he imagined. Now, in GCG's eyes, all his plans were so perfect because the beauty he liked was lying in front of him like a sleeping princess. He also imagined himself as a prince riding a white horse. In the army, it should be the Frog Prince. Who cares if he was a prince? Even if he was a pig-headed prince, today this beauty would be his toy. Thinking of this, GCG took off his coat and rubbed his hands together and said to himself, "He, little baby, I miss you so much. Since you are leaving tomorrow, I will leave you an unforgettable night. Don't worry, I will slowly. It won't hurt at all, he." Chapter 497. GCG rubbed his palms together and walked to the window. His eyes were almost narrowed into a line. Just as he was about to raise his leg to press down on the bed, his throat was suddenly locked by 5 steel-like fingers. His head was dizzy, and he was pressed against the wall with a bang. Because it happened so suddenly, and the back of GCG's head slammed against the wall, he was even more dizzy. Now that he saw a man standing in front of him, GCG's ears instantly rang. Hearing that Su Yun had made a move, Yu Maren hurriedly got up from the bed. She was really nervous just now. Fortunately, Su Yun had made a move in time. Otherwise, she really didn't know how to face such a scheming person. How could he use such a despicable method to deal with a girl? This kind of shameless bastard should be dragged out and beaten to death. Boss G, the tea you gave us isn't cheap, so we can't bear to drink it. We're keeping it for you. Su Yun grabbed GCG's throat with one hand and lifted him up against the wall. Although GCG was a fatty who weighed more than 200 kilograms, in Su Yun's hands, it was still a piece of cake. GCG's pair of fat hands tightly hugged Su Yun's hand that was strangling his neck. He was having a hard time breathing now. No matter how big his mouth was, the amount of oxygen that could be inhaled into his lungs was still pitifully little. He could only use his fat legs to kick in the air, making the most powerless resistance. Yu Maren glared at GCG and said hatefully, "Despicable. GCG was having a hard time breathing. He couldn't even beg for mercy now, let alone do anything else. Now you know how to be afraid." Su Yun opened the tea box in his hand, grabbed a handful of tea leaves and stuffed them into GCG's mouth. "Why weren't you afraid when you did this before? Don't you like tea leaves? Eat, come, I'll feed you, eat." As Su Yun spoke, he continued to grab the box of tea leaves mixed with knockout powder and stuff them into GCG's mouth. Yu Maren knew Su Yun's temper. If GCG did such a despicable thing to Su Yun might not be so angry. However, GCG threatened her safety and tried to hurt the people around Su Yun. This was unforgivable for Su Yun. A whole box of tea leaves was stuffed into GCG's mouth by Su Yun. Only then did Su Yun loosen his hands. GCG felt relieved. Even so, he covered the tea leaves that he almost spat out with both hands and quickly fled to the bathroom. He almost plunged his head into the toilet before vomiting. Su Yun sneered, "You can still think so much at a time like this. You are really a talent." What was he thinking about? Yu Maren was a little puzzled. If we call the police now and he spat the tea leaves on the ground, wouldn't there be evidence of him drugging us? Now that he has spat out all the tea leaves, there is no evidence left. Don't you think he thought a lot? After Su Yun finished speaking, he strode forward and stomped on GCG's back. GCG, who had just vomited, slapped his face on the vomit, and his entire head sank into the toilet. He was unwilling to give up. He hugged the edge of the toilet with both hands and wanted to get up angrily. However, the foot behind him was too strong. He couldn't even struggle. A strong and huge fear rose in GCG's heart because he didn't know who was behind him. Su Yun stepped on GCG's back and reached out to press the flush button on the toilet. Flush all these things away to ensure that the police won't find any evidence. Otherwise, what you did just now would be meaningless. The toilet water swooshed down and surrounded GCG's entire head. Then, it crazily swirled down to the bottom of the toilet. The suction force pulled GCG's entire face out of shape. Poor GCG. A minute ago, he was still flaunting his prowess and fantasizing about how he would do it on the bed. A minute later, he was ravaged and humiliated. He really had the heart to die. At this moment, GCG's mind was filled with one person, the face that appeared in front of him just now. He swore that he would not be a gentleman if he didn't take revenge. For a moment, his blood rushed to his head. In a moment of desperation, GCG actually fainted. From the moment he woke up to the moment he fainted, his face never left the toilet. Soo-yoon raised his foot and grinned. With such little ability, you still have the nerve to come out. This is just a small punishment. You can't have given him. Yoo Marin's face turned pale. After all, this was her room. Don't worry, he just fainted. And I can guarantee that if someone asks him why he is here, he will definitely say that he doesn't know anything. Soo-yoon smiled slightly because he was guilty. He was afraid that others would know that he had tried to drug Yoo Marin. With that said, Soo-yoon took out his mobile phone and dialed Lin Ji-ee's number. You've been waiting for a long time. There was a small accident. It's okay, I'm used to it. Lin Gu smiled slightly. If an assassin couldn't even do the most basic thing of waiting, then he might as well not do it. He wouldn't be able to do it for a lifetime. Get ready to move. Soo-yoon hung up the phone. Lin Gu put away his mobile phone and directly appeared at the entrance of the hotel. Because he was leaving tomorrow, Mu Fei had been anxiously waiting for Leader Yen, who had sneaked in through him for the third time, to come out earlier. Suddenly seeing a suspicious person, Mu Fei naturally raised his guard. Hey! Lin Gu hooked his finger at Mu Fei. Sheepdog, don't tell me you don't recognize me? Mu Fei's face instantly changed. Fuck. This bastard actually dared to call him a sheepdog. Not many people knew of his nickname. Because he had always been responsible for the logistics and security of the Dragon Brigade's medical team, guarding the door was a basic job for him. To put it nicely, he was called a door god. To put it bluntly, he was called a watchdog. His surname was Mu, so some bad guys in the Dragon Brigade gave him a nickname, Sheepdog. Most of the people who called him that were from the Dragon Fury team, but they didn't have any malicious intentions. Soo-yoon also knew of his nickname and occasionally called him that once or twice. He didn't recognize the little bastard in front of Mu Fei. He knew everyone in the Dragon Fury team, but he had never seen this little bastard before. It's me, Dove. Lin Gu grinned. We haven't seen each other for 10 years. Don't tell me you don't recognize me so quickly? Mu Fei's jaw almost dropped. This guy in front of him was actually the little bastard from 10 years ago? The one who could force Lieutenant General Wang Yi to send him away? Mu Fei couldn't believe his eyes. You're Lin Gu? I just passed by and didn't expect to see you here. What a coincidence. I came over to smoke and reminisce. Lin Gu took out a box of expensive cigarettes. What, you're not in the army anymore? Mu Fei saw the good cigarettes and went up to chat with Lin Gu. I didn't leave the army. I just came out to do something. Hee hee, it's not easy to tell you. Dove, seems like you're doing well. Smoking cigarettes? Are you a boss now? I understand. It's a non-disclosure agreement. Lin Gu chuckled. I'm not doing too well. 2 years ago, I made tens of millions from trading stocks and futures. I'm not really a boss. I'm just trying to make a living. I'm not as good as you, Brother Fei. What's your level now? Mu Fei smiled awkwardly. I'm in the logistics department. How can I be promoted so quickly? You're doing so well now. When can you teach me how to play stocks and futures? I can do it as a side business when I have nothing to do. Lin Gu patted his chest. That's easy. If you want to learn, leave it to me. Alright, are you having a meeting here? Who's here? Is there anyone I know? Mu Fei thought to himself, we're all in the medical team, so there shouldn't be anyone you're familiar with, right? But then, he suddenly got a shock. Oh, I forgot. Your boss is still inside, but his current identity is a little, that. Boss? Lin Gu pretended to be stupid. Who? Leader Yen Long Mu Fei said anxiously, maybe he'll come out later and you'll see him. Lin Gu was stunned. He's here? Then I don't want to see him. I was beaten by him many times in the 5 years I was in the army. It's not like you don't know that I was the one who was beaten by him the most. It's been 10 years. What if I see him and he hits me again? Where will I put my face? I can't beat him. At this time, Lin Ji's phone vibrated in his pocket. He knew that everything was settled, so he quickly changed his words. No, I have something to do. I have to go. You go ahead. Mu Fei was addicted to chatting. Don't. It's such a coincidence. You should at least meet Leader Yen. I'm not joking with you. Also, can you at least talk to me about the stock certificates? I don't know anything. I'm a beginner. You worry. I'll call you later. Lin Gu said as he ran away. Mu Fei waved his hand and said goodbye to him. He nodded repeatedly until Lin Ji's figure disappeared. He was stunned. This kid didn't ask for his phone number. How could he call him? Is he joking with me? Damn. Lin Gu quickly ran to the meeting place and saw Su Yun and Yu Meiren. This kid has been away for so long and is no longer the eccentric person he used to be. He said, Sister Yu, you're getting prettier. It's been 10 years, and your skin is still so good. TSK, TSK, TSK. My brother is so lucky. Yu Meiren's eyes widened. She didn't hear Su Yun say that there were other people who were talking to him. She asked in surprise, He is Pigeon. Su Yun said, That Xiao Budian from that year, I wonder if you still have any impression? I always beat him until his face was bruised and swollen. I always brought him to you to treat his wounds. Yu Meiren exclaimed, Lin Gu. Lin Gu smiled shyly. Sister Yu, I didn't expect you to still remember me. I'm so honored. Of course, I remember you. You were in the army for 5 years, and I did simple bandages for you more than 100 times. I didn't expect you to grow so big. Yu Meiren was shocked. She even suspected that Su Yun had beaten him to death when she left. Su Yun stopped a taxi by the roadside and said to the two of them, Let's talk when we get home. Don't say too much on the way. It won't be good if you scare the taxi driver. Chapter 498. When Su Yun really brought a strange girl in front of them, they were completely stunned. Qin Wana knew that Su Yun was not joking with her. He really brought a girl home. Brother, if there is nothing else, I will leave first. As a man, Lin Gu naturally felt that the atmosphere was not right. At least, he could be sure that the 3 women present felt the same way about Su Yun. Although Su Yun despised him for running away as soon as something happened and not staying behind to support him, he had to appear calm on the surface and said, Okay, then you go. Don't you want to stay? Ruan Qingxuang was soft-hearted after all. It's so late. Where are you going to stay alone? Anyway, there are so many rooms at home. How about this? I will go and clean up another room. Shaolin, don't leave. Stay here tonight. Qin Wana snorted and said, That's right. Say. But Sister Qingxuang, you don't have to clean up. They haven't seen each other for a long time. Stay in a room and have a good chat. No. No need. Thank you, sisters. I still have some things to deal with, and I have a place to stay. Lin Gu politely refused, and then said to Su Yun and Yu Meiren, Brother, Sister Yu, you have a good rest. Seeing Su Yun nod, Lin Gu, who got permission, quickly left the villa. A woman's jealousy was a very strong undercurrent, at least Lin Gu could feel it. Ruan Qingxuang was the most indifferent on the surface. No one could see her jealousy, but it was also the sharpest. The only disadvantage was that her jealousy produced a sharp undercurrent that would only hurt herself and not others. Qin Wan was the one who looked the least calm. Her jealousy was very obvious. As long as one was not a fool, they would definitely be able to tell at a glance. However, she felt that she did not show it at all. Her jealousy produced a sharp undercurrent that did not have eyes. Whoever provoked her, she would hurt that person. Of course, this included Su Yun. No one could escape from it. The sharp undercurrent of jealousy in Yu Marin's heart belonged to the category of biding her time. If others didn't hurt her, she would definitely not take the initiative to attack. However, if others used the sharp undercurrent of jealousy to hurt her, she would not hesitate to retaliate. Now, what Su Yun was most worried about was whether or not Qin Wan, this jealous person, would accidentally trigger Yu Marin's trap. He could only pray that on the surface, everyone had to be reasonable and not make a big deal out of it. If that was the case, things would not be good. Let me introduce you. Su Yun tried to break through the awkwardness. No need, we can do it ourselves. Qin Wan was not willing to be outdone. After rejecting Su Yun, she said directly, "Hello, I am Qin Wan from the Shenzhen City Police Station. I have experienced a lot with Su Yun. We can be considered as confidants. She is my sister, Ruan Qingshuang." Hee. Is she a natural couple with Su Yun? Quite compatible. It was just a self-introduction, but there was already a hidden mystery. Su Yun's heart skipped a beat. He seemed to have realized what was going to happen next. Yu Marin smiled slightly. When she first saw these two girls, she knew that Su Yun must have a deep relationship and story with them. Otherwise, Su Yun would not live under the same roof with them. And this girl named Qin Wan obviously liked Su Yun. She could not accept other girls liking Su Yun, but she could accept the girl named Ruan Qingshuang liking Su Yun. No, she could even accept Su Yun liking the girl named Ruan Qingshuang. Secondly, she had a place in Su Yun's heart. It seemed that the story between Su Yun and Ruan Qingshuang should be deeper. Of course, Yu Marin knew that these were just her own guesses. What kind of story had happened between them, she could not be sure just by guessing. At least she could be sure that these two girls must be 100% good to Su Yun. That was enough. Sister Qingshuang, Wan, hello. Yu Marin's performance was still very polite. At least when Su Yun heard this, he did not feel frightened at all. But then, Yu Marin's words made Su Yun's heart jump to his throat. Yu Marin actually had a faint smile and continued, "My name is Yu Marin. When I was 5 years old, I met Su Yun. The two of us grew up together. In the words of the TV series, we should be called childhood sweethearts, right?" Childhood sweethearts. Qin Wan was defeated in the first move. She was completely defeated. They had known each other since they were 5 years old. For 20 years, they were childhood sweethearts. They grew up together naked. Maybe she knew how many moles Su Yun had on his body. God, there was no competition at all. Su Yun sighed. This time, he was really put on a big hat. But through this incident, Su Yun felt for the first time that Yu Marin cared about him. Maybe when they were in the army, there were no other women around Su Yun. There was only Yu Marin, so Yu Marin did not feel any pressure or threat. But it was different now. Beauty Yu had already deeply felt the impact of the colorful world outside on her. It turned out that after leaving the army, Su Yun would have so many beautiful girls by his side. Now, Yu Marin had not seen Chou Yun, Tang Jiu, Zhuo Meiyan, Yi Fala, Ling Jiling, and other girls with different styles. When the time came, Yu Marin would probably understand why the average man in the movies could not resist the temptation. Your name is so nice. You and your name are just as nice. Ruan Qingshuang would never go against others. She never thought that she would have Su Yun alone. She also did not dare to think about such a thing. Hearing the praise and compliments from this beautiful woman, Yu Marin seemed to understand why Qin Wan would not be jealous of Ruan Qingshuang. It was because she was so friendly that you could not be jealous. Her friendliness made you want to be friends with her. Because she made you feel that if you were her friend, she would share everything with you, including Su Yun. Sister Qingshuang, you are not only beautiful, but also kind. Thank you for helping me clean up my room. Thank you very much. Yu Marin's gratitude was definitely from the bottom of her heart. Qin Wan coughed lightly. I also helped you clean up your room. Thank you too, Wan. Yu Marin tried to resolve the little misunderstanding between the two with a kind smile. Su Yun had not dared to speak since the beginning. Feeling that the atmosphere had eased, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. Qin Wan smiled and said, Aha, I am tired. Good night. After that, she turned around and went straight upstairs to her room. Su Yun was very grateful that Qin Wan gave him face. Ruan Qingshuang also smiled and said, I worked all day today. I also worked out with Wan in the fitness center for more than an hour. I am also tired. I have to get up early tomorrow. I am going to sleep first. You guys should rest early too. You have worked hard today. Thank you, Sister Shuang. Su Yun said, Beauty Yu is going to stay here for 3 to 5 days. She is a doctor, and her medical skills are not inferior to Lao Tu's at all. Lao Tu is proficient in Chinese medicine, and other than being proficient in Chinese medicine, she is also very proficient in high-tech medical instruments. Ruan Qingshuang nodded. Qin Wan who had just walked upstairs to the door of her room, also stopped. Su Yun continued, There is something wrong with my body. You all know about it. I don't want to suddenly fall into a coma, so I will temporarily give myself to Yu Marin these few days. I hope you can trust her as much as I do. She will not hurt me. Even if she wants to cut open my skull with a knife, I hope you will not stop her. No matter what she does, she must have her reasons. I believe in her, so I hope you will also believe in her. After listening to Su Yun's words, Yu Marin's heart was surging. She was very grateful that Su Yun could say such words to her. Her eyes were red and she said, Thank you for trusting me so much. Don't worry. Since you have said so, I will definitely cooperate. Ruan Qingshuang smiled and said, Yu Marin, haha, I will call you beautiful sister from now on, okay? Of course. Yu Marin nodded and said, Sister Qingshuang, I will trouble you here these few days. Ruan Qingshuang hurriedly shook her head and said, I should be the one who said trouble. Please help Su Yun see a doctor. He really scared us when he fell into a coma last time. I really hope you can help him solve this problem. Otherwise, we will always be worried that he will suddenly fall into a coma and have an accident. Qin Wan ran down the stairs again, but she only said one sentence and ran back, Dr. Yu, I will trouble you. I will leave Su Yun to you. If there is anything you need, you can just ask me to do it. A man suddenly pulled the hearts of 3 women together. When anyone had a common goal and interest, they would become a cooperative group. Now, for the 3 of them, the most important thing was Su Yun's health. So, Su Yun's health could be healthy and no accidents would happen to him. This was their common goal and interest. It was late. Ruan Qingshuang took Yu Marin to see her room and then went back to rest. Suddenly changed to a strange environment, Yu Marin did not feel sleepy. After she took a shower, she lay on the bed for a while. Finally, she decided to get up and went to Su Yun's room. Before she knocked on the door, Su Yun, who had already heard the breath, said, The door is not locked. Yu Marin opened the door and walked into Su Yun's room. Seeing Su Yun sitting cross-legged on the bed, she did not disturb him. She waited for Su Yun to circulate his qi and unblock his meridians for the last time before she said, Lieutenant General Wang taught you the breathing and expiration method, right? Su Yun nodded and said, Yes, I have been practicing it. This breathing and expiration method was very useful for the breakthrough of the cultivation state, but since I reached the super state, it is almost useless. But when I practice it occasionally, my body and mind will be very relaxed, and my tiredness and fatigue will be swept away. This feeling is very good. If I have the chance, I will also learn it. Yu Marin smiled faintly. Can't sleep? You are not used to the new place, right? Su Yun got up and poured Yu Marin a glass of water and handed it to her. Yu Marin nodded and said, For as long as I can remember, I have always lived in the army's dormitory or the hotel's guest room. I have never lived in a room like this. When I was in that room just now, I kept feeling that it was not mine. It was weird, so I couldn't sleep. Soo-yoon grinned and said, "If you like it, that room is yours. It will always be yours. In the future, you can sleep in that room whenever you want." Yoo-maerin was very excited. "Really? Really?" Soo-yoon said. Chapter 499. You've never lied to me since I was a kid. Yoo-maerin smiled. "Forget it, I can't sleep anyway. Lie down and I'll check your pulse. The sooner I know your pulse, the sooner I'll understand. If you're not sleepy, you can chat with me." Soo-yoon nodded. As he lay down, he stretched out his arm and put his wrist in front of Yoo-maerin. "Okay, I also want to talk to someone. Do you know who I saw a while ago?" Yoo-maerin looked for Soo-yoon's pulse and said, "It must be Chien Feng. Who else could it be? The first time you came to me, you also wanted to contact him. Why? Did you two do something behind Wang Yi's back? I'm telling you, don't lead him astray. He's already a thorn in the special forces. He's always going against Shadow Dragon." "I knew he wouldn't be honest." Soo-yoon shook his head helplessly. "But this time, I didn't just see him. I also saw Han Zhan, Gong Sun Lang, Hua Xiaolu." Originally, Soo-yoon wanted to say Fan Shuang-er's name, but then he remembered that Fan Shuang-er entered the Dragon Fury team to take over the position of Azure Dragon. He was afraid that it would bring up Yoo-maerin's sad memories, so he didn't say anything. These people were enough to make Yoo-maerin's jaw drop. "No way. You called all of them out? Aren't you afraid that they'll be collectively punished? This is not a small matter. And these guys like to go against Shadow Dragon. You really know how to pick people." Soo-yoon didn't think so. "Harm them? Hey, I'm not bragging, but when you go back, you'll hear the good news about their contributions. I let them bring back the 1,000-year-old Buddha head that was lost in Wonfo Mountain. Their contributions far outweigh their mistakes. Don't worry. Not only will they not be punished, but they'll also be praised." "Really?" Yoo-maerin was stunned. Soo-yoon looked up. "Of course it's true. Don't move. Let's not talk about the Buddha head first." Yoo-maerin frowned. Her fingers moved slightly around Soo-yoon's pulse, and she said to herself, "I can't believe it. Why is it so chaotic?" Soo-yoon immediately quieted down and stopped moving. It seemed that Yoo-maerin noticed something. Could it be that there was something wrong with his meridians? This was no small matter. The meridians of experts were generally very stable. If the meridians were to become chaotic, it would usually be very serious. At this time, Soo-yoon hoped that Yoo-maerin would tell him that she was joking. However, he knew very well that Yoo-maerin wasn't the kind of person who would casually make such a joke. Especially if it was a medical joke. That was why Soo-yoon was so nervous. Yoo-maerin felt Soo-yoon's pulse for a quarter of an hour. Her face became more and more unsightly. She didn't know how to describe it, but there was something wrong. She didn't know how to ask. Are you? Soo-yoon saw that Yoo-maerin was hesitating and didn't dare to urge her. "If it's hard to describe, just say it slowly." "I really don't know how to say it. I keep feeling that there's a special kind of true qi in your body, but I'm not sure what it is. You haven't practiced any unorthodox internal strength, right?" Yoo-maerin was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. She really wanted to know what exactly caused the true qi in Soo-yoon's body. Soo-yoon shook his head. "Absolutely not. From the beginning, Wang Yi warned me that I absolutely can't practice any unorthodox things. It's easy to trigger the inner demon." Yoo-maerin gritted her teeth. "It seems that I have to give you a comprehensive diagnosis. Not only will I not be able to find the cause of your illness by just feeling your pulse, I will also be confused by the thing in your meridians." Take off your clothes." Soo-yoon nodded and suddenly raised his head. Take off my clothes? What did a comprehensive diagnosis have to do with taking off my clothes? In the middle of the night, a man and a woman alone in a room, wasn't it a bit unsafe? At least Su Yun felt that he couldn't resist the temptation. Right now, he could clearly feel that his self-control and willpower were greatly reduced. Take off all your clothes. Yu Meiren said, I need to seal your acupoints with silver needles to determine what the special qi in your body is. Su Yun grinned. Although it was said that a doctor should have the heart of a parent, Yu Meiren was too much of a parent in front of him, right? Didn't she feel embarrassed? Su Yun thought as he took off his clothes, revealing his strong arms and amazing chest muscles. Just as Su Yun was about to take off his pants, Yu Meiren exclaimed, What are you doing? This really scared Su Yun. Su Yun quickly pulled up his pants and looked innocently at Yu Meiren. You told me to take off all my clothes. I was just about to take them off. Yu Meiren blushed. You're thinking too much. I just told you to take off your clothes. When Yu Meiren said this just now, she didn't expect Su Yun to take it that way, so she didn't take it seriously. After all, she was a doctor in the Dragon Brigade. The members of the Special Forces often had to be treated by the medical team when they were injured, so she didn't take it seriously. That's because you didn't make it clear. You said take off all your clothes. Didn't you mean take off all your clothes, including your pants? Su Yun muttered softly and then obediently pulled up his pants again. In fact, he was embarrassed. Even if Yu Meiren was a doctor, it was difficult for Su Yun to completely treat her as a doctor in front of her. He had other thoughts, so of course he was embarrassed. Yu Meiren didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Su Yun's words. She really felt a headache coming on. Lie down properly and don't move around. After Su Yun lay down, Yu Meiren skillfully inserted the needles. The first needle was inserted into Su Yun's Dasui acupoint. The next 4 needles were inserted into both his shoulders and his waist. The last needle was a little red. Yu Meiren suddenly reached out and pulled down Su Yun's pants, revealing half of his buttocks. She then inserted a needle into the Guwei acupoint. After sealing a few of Su Yun's acupoints, Yu Meiren began to massage along Su Yun's back using a special technique. This special technique allowed the true energy in Su Yun's body to slowly spread to the 4 limbs, leaving only the residual internal force. This way, Yu Meiren could obtain a blood sample to test and know what kind of internal force still existed in Su Yun's body. Although this technique was a very old method, it was very useful. At least, it was the most accurate method. Yu Meiren didn't use those fancy techniques that looked advanced because she cared more about Su Yun and was afraid that she would make a mistake. After a while, Yu Meiren's face was almost completely red. She was really embarrassed to say the results of the test. It turned out that the internal force wasn't something unorthodox, but a virgin skill. It was so embarrassing. Yu Meiren spent more than 2 hours that night, tossing and turning until she was sleepy. She actually got such a meaningless clue. Su Yun kept asking her what it was. Yu Meiren, who was angry and embarrassed, didn't say anything and quickly ran back to her room to rest. Although this result seemed to be meaningless, for Yu Meiren, it wasn't completely meaningless. At least, this result overturned her previous guess when she first came here. After seeing Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan Yu Meiren had basically confirmed the answer in her heart about whether Su Yun was a virgin or not. She didn't think that there would be a man who could live with such beautiful girls and not be moved. It seemed that Su Yun would always be the guy that she couldn't predict. He left the Dragon Fury team and came to this colorful world. How could he still be a virgin? Although this word was not suitable to describe Su Yun, Yu Meiren really didn't know how to describe him. Phew, Su Yun is still a... Yu Meiren's mind seemed to be completely occupied by this matter. Now, she couldn't fall asleep. Even if she directly covered her face with a pillow and forced herself not to think about Su Yun's body, she still struggled for a long time before falling asleep. Because she didn't sleep well last night, Yu Meiren's eyes were a little dark when she woke up in the morning. Ruan Qingxuang was a careful person. Sister Yu, you didn't sleep well last night, right? Haha. Is the bed not suitable for you? Do you like it soft or hard? Just tell me. I'll help you fix it later. Sister Qingxuang, you don't have to be so polite. This will make me feel at a loss. Umaran hurriedly said, everything is fine. It's just that I haven't slept in this kind of room since I was young, so I'm a little excited. Haha, don't laugh at me if I tell you. Ruan Qingxuang smiled slightly. Haha, just like me. When I lived here for the first time, I also felt that it was too exaggerated. A villa. I didn't even dare to think about it before. Actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't matter. After all, this is just a place to sleep. Most of the time, people still work outside. Qin Wan shook her head while eating a fried egg. I don't agree with this. Now, many people in the profession stay at home. For example, writers who write novels will stay at home most of the time. They should live in this kind of big villa. It's comfortable. In the future, when you read novels, you should support the original version. Otherwise, writers will rent and change houses every 2 to 3 days. They can't even live in a good house. How can they use their energy to write better works? 32 likes. Su Yun agrees. When he was in the Dragon Fury team, he used his mobile phone to secretly read novels. He only reads the original version. Even if they charge him, it's only 2 or 3 cents a day. That's only a few RMB a month. This money is not even enough to buy half a pack of red Nanjing cigarettes. After eating breakfast, the people from the repair shop called and said that they could pick up the car. The Golfa that was damaged beyond recognition by Su Yun had been repaired. Ruan Qingxuang picked up the keys to the Porsche Cayenne. I will bring Wan to the garage to pick up the car. After that, we will go to work. Su Yun, you stay at home and cooperate with Sister Yu's treatment. Sister Yu, I'll leave him to you. Thank you, Dr. Yu. Qin Wan also said, what do you want to eat? Tell me. I will buy it for you after work. You don't have to be so polite to me. I am not used to it. Yu Meiren said embarrassedly. Don't worry. I will not let anything happen to Su Yun. I will definitely give him the most thorough examination and the most thorough diagnosis. I will definitely not let him have this problem again. Don't worry. Trust me. Su Yun had a bitter smile on his face as he thought to himself, I'm really worried. What if he misunderstands again when I say take off all your clothes? Sigh. Yu Meiren, your primary school language was taught by a math teacher, right? Su Yun's expression skills should improve a little. Otherwise, he is really worried that he will be cheated to death. Chapter 500. After everyone left, Yu Meiren only needed one look, and Su Yun knew what he should do. He went back to his room obediently. Yu Meiren followed Su Yun to his room. Although the checkup yesterday was meaningful, this time, Su Yun was definitely not as good as yesterday. Take off your clothes, but I'm afraid I'll have to take them off completely this time. Yu Meiren tried to make her expression look casual. Because of the conflict in your body, I need to release some of the blood that's not conducive to the unblocking of your meridians. My acupuncture technique is not as good as yours. I'm afraid I won't be so accurate through your clothes. No one could be so accurate through clothes. Su Yun knew very well that this was not a joke. Releasing blood was often a serious matter. Even Yu Meiren put down her pride and pretended to be calm in front of him. If he was still so shy, it would be even more inexcusable. So be it. A man is not a little girl. What is there to be afraid of? It won't hurt to be looked at a few times. After Su Yun took off his clothes, Yu Meiren, who had chanted the Guanyin mantra 100 times in her heart, still could not control her blushing face. She continued to pretend to be calm and pointed at Su Yun. Lie on the bed. If you feel any discomfort later, tell me immediately. Okay, got it. Su Yun nodded and looked awe-inspiring. He lay on the bed without a trace of stickiness. In his heart, he could only comfort himself with Ah Q's spirit. He was secretly glad that he was lying on his stomach. Yu Meiren opened her medical bag and took out the sheepskin pouch with the 108 silver needles. She opened it with a whoosh and the silver glittered. You'd better be prepared. The problem in your body is more complicated, so you need to slowly release blood. There are also more acupuncture points that are stimulated. If you're afraid of pain, I can get you a towel. Pain. Su Yun smiled. I'm not afraid of that. Hey, it's not like I haven't been shot before. If I don't even dare to do acupuncture, can I still be considered a man? Yu Meiren shook her finger provocatively and said, Don't underestimate the slow blood discharge therapy. Although the pain is insignificant at the beginning, when the harmful elements in your body are expelled, you will feel an intense pain. This is not the scary part. The scary part is that there will be 108 acupoints in your body that will experience this pain at the same time. Su Yun's eyes widened and he froze for a moment. You're not kidding me, are you? You're so sophisticated. Don't tell me, you need to use such a big force to cure such a small disease? Beauty, you nodded without any trace of politeness. Who asked your inner strength to react so strongly with the trace elements of the Zahoya tribesmen? I have no other choice. By the way, I have to make it clear that this is what I think will work in theory. I haven't put it into practice. You're not afraid that I'll fail, are you? Su Yun shrugged nonchalantly. If even you fail, then no one else will have 100% confidence. I believe you won't joke with my life. Come on, it's so cold. I'm really afraid that I'll catch a cold naked. Beauty, you glared at Su Yun in annoyance. Back then, when the Dragon's Fury Special Forces were training, they were thrown into Moh County in the Black River in the northeast in the middle of winter. They didn't freeze to death even though it was minus 30 degrees Celsius, right? Shenzhen was at least a few degrees Celsius now. Moreover, the room had a central air conditioning system. It was impossible for Su Yun to freeze. The slow blood discharge treatment required the stimulation of 108 acupuncture points on the patient's back. Yu Meiren began to apply the needles. First, she started from Su Yun's head. First, it was the Baihui point, Naohu point, Yuzhen point, Fengfu point, Yamen point, Tianzhu point. Then, it was the Fengmen point, Gonshu point, Shinshu point, Juyan point, Xiakangshu point, Feishu point, Danshu point, Ashio point, Sanjiao point, Xinshu point, Spleen point, Zhisher point, Large intestine point, Jishu point, Stomach point, Shoulder point, Guanyuan point, Bladder point. This was followed by the Qingfu acupoint under the buttocks, the Yinmen acupoint, the Weizhong acupoint, the Weiyang acupoint, the Heiyang acupoint, the Qingjin acupoint, the Chengshan acupoint, the Feiyang acupoint, the Fuyang acupoint, and the Kunlun acupoint on the heel of the foot. After Yu Meiren inserted the last needle, Su Yun felt his whole body go limp and numb. Then, he felt an external force that seemed to be sucking on the 108 acupuncture points on his back. Suddenly, he felt a sharp pain, as if 10,000 ants were eating his heart. Su Yun wasn't prepared and almost cried out. Fortunately, he bit his lower lip at the last moment. If he cried out in pain in front of Yu Meiren, it would be too embarrassing. Just this first pain caused Su Yun's forehead to be covered with sweat. I think I'd better give you a towel to bite. Although I don't know what this pain feels like, I can roughly guess from your reaction. Of course, Yu Meiren felt sorry for Su Yun. After all, Su Yun was a very important person to her. Su Yun took a deep breath. He had withstood the first time, he didn't believe that he couldn't withstand the second time. It's okay, I'm not that delicate. Just talk to me and divert my attention. In ancient times, Feng Yu scraped the bone to heal the wound. Today, I, Su Yun, am here to chat and bleed. Yu Meiren shook her head helplessly. Alas, she really didn't know what to say to him. At this time, he was still clenching his teeth and holding on. She knew Su Yun too well. If it was a normal pain, Su Yun wouldn't be sweating all over. Are you sure? Yu Meiren frowned and said, This pain will appear 108 times. The pain is divided into 12 levels. After every 9 times of pain, the level of pain will increase. If you really want to endure it, then be mentally prepared. Su Yun's eyes widened. Oh my God! You should have said so earlier. 108 times of pain? And it's getting more and more painful? Are you kidding me? That. Then give me a towel. At this time, Su Yun didn't want to be a hero. Who knew what the so-called 12 levels of pain were? If the pain of each level was twice as painful as the pain of the next level, even if Su Yun was a tough guy in his bones, he absolutely didn't want to imagine that kind of pain. As time went by, Su Yun didn't regret his choice. The pain became more and more intense, as if the blood and tendons in his body were slowly being extracted. In the end, the pain was almost unbearable. Yu Meiren stayed by Su Yun's side all the time. Because this kind of slow bleeding therapy didn't empty the blood in the body, it didn't bring any danger to his life. All the blood that needed to be drained was discharged little by little from the 108 acupuncture points in the body. Therefore, Yu Meiren needed to constantly wipe the purple-black blood on Su Yun's back. For the whole morning, Su Yun endured the severe pain. Until noon, when Qin Wan-er and Ruan Qingshuang came back, Su Yun was still suffering. When Ruan Qingshuang pushed the door and saw the scene in front of her, she almost fainted because Su Yun's body was covered with black blood, which really shocked her. Qin Wan-er couldn't help but go crazy on the spot. What did you do to Su Yun? She even suspected that the woman in front of her was deliberately hurting Su Yun. Yu Meiren maintained her calmness. If the blood in his body can't be drained, it means that he will never be able to get rid of the sudden coma. It's better to have a short pain than a long pain. I also know that Su Yun is in a lot of pain now, but compared to this, I don't want him to suddenly fall into a coma one day and cause more serious damage to him. But Qin Wan-er's momentum disappeared in an instant. Of course, she knew the danger of Su Yun's sudden coma. Ruan Qingshuang almost couldn't open her mouth. Why? He's bleeding so much. Will Su Yun be in danger? Dr. You must not scare us. To be honest, Yu Meiren really didn't know how to explain it to them, because many things in medicine seemed to be very scary, and it was even more scary to explain. But if she didn't use this method, she couldn't help Su Yun. It was a very contradictory thing. Although the pain had destroyed Su Yun's mind, Su Yun still insisted on letting go of the towel in his mouth. He whispered to Ruan Qingshuang and Qin Wan-er, "Believe her. She's saving me." Ah. Just as he opened his mouth to say 2 words, the pain came again. Su Yun bit the towel in his mouth and held back his cry. If he cried out again, Ruan Qingshuang and Qin Wan-er would definitely be more distressed. At that time, Ruan Qingshuang's heart would probably be broken. After Su Yun endured the pain, he moved his wrist gently and signaled Ruan Qingshuang and Qin Wan-er to go out. He didn't want them to see him being tortured like this. It was really too painful. Su Yun couldn't force a smile and lie to them that he didn't feel pain at all. As long as he was a human, he couldn't do it. He wants you to go out. He doesn't want you to see him in pain. Yu Meiren understood Su Yun's meaning through his movements. Ruan Qingshuang shook her head. I'm not going. How long will he be like this? I want to stay with him. Is there anything I can do? I'm willing to do anything to help him. Sister Yu, Dr. Yu, tell me. What can I do? Just tell me. Yu Meiren shook her head. Sister Qingshuang, I'm really sorry. I really tried my best. If there was a way to help Su Yun get rid of this pain, I would have done it long ago. I wouldn't have waited until now to see him in pain. Sister Qingshuang, if I could, I would have done it. I wouldn't have watched Su Yun in pain. Ruan Qingshuang bit her lower lip. What else could she say? She felt that she really couldn't do anything to help. She was so useless. Let me help you. Qin Wan-er had already picked up a pack of cotton swabs and stepped forward to help Yu Meiren clean the remaining blood on Su Yun's back. She was afraid that was the only thing she could do now. Yu Meiren didn't stop her. It was naturally better to have someone to help. The faster she cleaned the blood from the acupoints, the smoother the discharge of the remaining blood would be. Although the total amount of blood discharged from the 108 acupoints was less than 2 or 3 drops, it would still cause blood stasis. After Qin Wan-er started to work, Ruan Qingshuang also put away her sadness and stepped forward to help Qin Wan-er. This was all they could do now, so she had to do her best. Ruan Qingxuang believed that even if she didn't do anything, as long as she could stand by his side, Su Yun would be more relaxed. When a person was in pain, he would definitely want someone to accompany him. This was no exception. The three women surrounded Su Yun. They didn't feel hungry even though they had forgotten to eat lunch. Finally, when the sun was about to set, Su Yun's mouth loosened and the soaked towel fell to the ground. From her pale lips, she weakly spat out a few words, 108. Chapter 501. Ruan Qingxuang felt as if a big stone had been lifted from her heart. Her tense nerves could finally calm down, but she was still not sure. She hurriedly asked Yu Meiren, "Is it over? Is Su Yun okay?" Yu Meiren also breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at the blood-stained cotton sticks all over the floor, she nodded with certainty. Maybe there should be no problem. If there are other problems, it is not something I can deal with. If my method is correct, the problem of coma should not happen again. How do you feel? Qin Wanner directly asked Su Yun how he felt. Are you still alive? If you are not dead, squeak. Don't make us worry about you. Su Yun was lying on the bed. The huge pain almost exhausted all his strength. Hearing Qin Wanner's words, he tilted his head slightly and said, "Squeak." Qin Wanner was instantly dumbfounded by Su Yun, but she could not deny that she was happy because it was enough to prove that Su Yun was well, because he could still joke with him. That was enough. It seemed that Yu Meiren's medical skills were really amazing. At first, when she saw that Su Yun was bleeding, she thought it was some super dark medical skill. Everyone must be hungry. What do you want to eat? I will go out and buy it. It is too late to cook now. Ruan Qingxuang saw that Su Yun was fine, and she felt much better, but she really did not have the energy to cook a big meal to celebrate. She was really tired this afternoon, and her heart was tired. Yu Meiren took out her mobile phone and said, "Sister Qingxuang, don't go out. I will call and ask the house to send it directly. Do you want to eat pizza or hamburgers?" "Pizza. Pizza." Just when the three of them were hesitating, Su Yun's hysterical voice came from the bed. He was really hungry. They all ate the same thing in the morning, so Su Yun was the one who consumed the most energy. He was so hungry that he could even speak when he heard pizza. One could only imagine how hungry he was. This made the three girls laugh. They were laughing so beautifully, not because they were taking pleasure in Su Yun's misfortune, but because they were sure that Su Yun's body was fine. Yu Meiren called the pizza delivery company. About half an hour later, all the dishes they ordered were delivered. The total cost was more than 500 yuan. The three of them rushed to pay. Su Yun, who had recovered some of his strength, smelled the aroma and couldn't wait to rush out to eat. When the three girls paid and turned around, they saw a white body squatting in front of the sofa eating and drinking without any care for his image. Su Yun was really hungry. He needed food to replenish his strength. His exhausted strength made him feel empty all over. Are you the reincarnation of a hungry ghost? Can't you consider that there are still 3 girls in this room? Qin Wan'er was furious on the spot. She threw a pillow at Su Yun. Su Yun ate the pizza and quickly slipped upstairs. He was so focused on eating that he forgot that he took off his clothes before the acupuncture. This was really embarrassing. His naked back left an afterimage on the stairs. Ruan Qingxuang was helpless. Yu Meiren was angry and funny. Qin Wan'er rolled her eyes and shook her head helplessly. After eating, Su Yun sat comfortably on the sofa. He twisted his arms and lifted his legs. He felt that he was full of energy. Yu Meiren's move was really useful. But why didn't old Butu do this before? Alas, it seemed that the vicious fairy Dr. Wu Qiuzi was now old. Yu Meiren was the one who surpassed her. If old Butu knew, he would definitely sigh that it was the new generation that surpassed the old. What's wrong? Do you feel uncomfortable? Yu Meiren was confused when she saw Su Yun kept moving. Su Yun shook his head. It's too comfortable. I feel full of energy. It's like something has been opened. I can't tell, but at least now I feel like I've been reborn. Su-yun was not exaggerating at all. Since the first time he suddenly fell into a coma, he always felt a little tired. But this feeling did not affect his daily life and work. Even when he fought with a master, it did not affect him too much. At most, he felt like he was tied with a sandbag. But now, after bleeding and cleaning his body, Su-yun felt that all the sandbags on his body were removed. This kind of carefree feeling made him use the word rebirth to describe it. It was not an exaggeration at all. Su-yun, you should really thank Dr. Yu. Qin Wan said, even if she is your childhood friend, you should at least show some appreciation. I think it's not too much to give her a red packet of 100,000 yuan. Right. It's not too much at all. Ruan Qingxuang nodded. Qin Wan was joking, but Ruan Qingxuang took it seriously. Looking at her expression, it seemed that she was about to get up and prepare. Su-yun said helplessly, Qin Wan you did it on purpose, didn't you? With Yu Maren's relationship with me, if she asks me for money, it's too unreasonable. Think about it, if I save you and then ask you for money, would you be happy? Qin Wan snorted. It's just a joke. Can't you even take a joke? Now that Su-yun was fine, her jealousy began to spread. After all, Su-yun was so naked today. She and Ruan Qingxuang had seen Su-yun's body before, so she would not be jealous of Ruan Qingxuang. But for Yu Maren, she was not so generous. Qin Wan always felt that when Yu Maren saw Su-yun's body, it was as if she had suffered a big loss. It's okay, I won't take the money. Yu Maren's IQ was very high since she was a child. If it weren't for her special identity, she would have been an examiner in the Mensa High Intelligence Association. So she clearly understood what Qin Wan meant. I can't see Su-yun's healthy body for free, right? Haha, we're even. When Qin Wan heard that Yu Maren was deliberately provoking her, she was unhappy. According to Dr. Yu, we also saw Su-yun's body for free, but we didn't treat Su-yun. We still have to pay 100,000 yuan for Su-yun. Ruan Qingxuang felt that something was wrong in the air. She reached out and pulled Qin Wan. What nonsense are you talking about? Qin Wan laughed quickly. Haha, it's okay, Sister Qingxuang. I'm just joking with Dr. Yu. I don't mean anything else. Yu Maren also smiled slightly. Sister Qingxuang, Wan and I are like old friends at first sight, and we both like to joke. Haha, please don't mind. We're just joking. We don't mean anything else. Ruan Qingxuang's smile was very awkward. She really didn't feel that it was a joke at all. Jokes should be based on the occasion and timing, right? Su-yun shrugged. If you make this kind of joke again, I'm afraid I'll directly. Before his voice died away, Su-yun directly lay down on the sofa, and there was no reaction. Don't make trouble and scare us anymore. Ruan Qingxuang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This was not a funny thing. If they made fun of the coma, she would be very, very angry. Before Su-yun's coma really scared Ruan Qingxuang. I think you still don't faint enough times. Qin Wan was also angry. If you make this kind of joke again, I'll be angry with you. Get up. Su-yun didn't move at all. Qin Wan stared and raised her foot to kick Su-yun's calf. Get up, okay, stop pretending. I'm joking with Dr. Yu, and I didn't bring you to play. Why are you making trouble here? Hurry up, don't force me to pull you up. However, Su-yun's feedback was still silent. Ruan Qingxuang was a little flustered, and her voice became hurried. Su-yun, don't scare us. Wan said don't play. Get up quickly. Not good. Yu Maren was secretly shocked. Su-yun wouldn't be so bored to make this kind of joke with them. After all, this kind of joke couldn't be made. Su-yun was not the kind of person who didn't know in his heart, and he wouldn't play with them like this. If he was pretending, he would definitely shout twice and get up. Now, there was no movement at all, and there must be something wrong. Qin Wan was also dumbfounded. Did she make a little joke with Yu Maren, and Su-yun was stimulated? It can't be, right? That's way too fragile. Su-yun, don't joke. Qin Wan was a little anxious. She got up and wanted to go forward to pull Su-yun. You'll scare Sister Qingshuang. Don't you know Sister Qingshuang's courage? Okay, it's enough. Even though she said so, Su-yun still didn't have the slightest reaction. Before she touched Su-yun, Yu Meiren was a little emotional. He's not pretending, don't touch him. Didn't you already cure him? Why is he in a coma again? What's going on? Qin Wan was also emotional. She directly pointed the finger at Yu Meiren. What you did to Su-yun, is it useful? How much blood did you let out of him? Is he suffering from excessive blood loss now? Yu Meiren was very confused. The blood that she let out of Su-yun's body was useless. Even if it was left in the body, it wouldn't play a role in the circulation, and the blood was at most 400 milliliters, which would definitely not affect Su-yun's life. Su-yun's physical fitness was very high, and it was impossible for him to faint because of this little blood. So, Yu Meiren could completely conclude that what she did to Su-yun was completely meaningless. Su-yun's body would still produce a self-protective sudden coma under that kind of reaction. However, fortunately, he was still in a coma. If he didn't use such a self-protective method, his life might be safe. If you don't want him to die, don't wake him up. He will wake up naturally. Yu Meiren said sternly, "Give me a car right now. Help me carry Su-yun to the car. I want to take him back for treatment. There is no medical equipment here. I can't guarantee his safety. His situation is not as simple as I thought. Hurry up, I'm afraid it will be too late." As she spoke, Yu Meiren had already lifted Su-yun. Ruan Qingshuang had already taken out the car key of the Porsche Cayenne from her pocket and quickly unlocked the car. She was about to step forward to help. Qin Wan suddenly stopped Yu Meiren. "Why should we believe you? Why should I believe that Su-yun's current situation was caused by the method of letting out blood? You can't take Su-yun away. If you take Su-yun away, I will be even more worried. I would rather believe the doctors in the big hospital. Believe me, no matter how big the doctors in the big hospital are, they can't save Su-yun." Yu Meiren said sternly, "Immediately bring Su-yun to the car. I want to take him back." Chapter 502. After all, Yu Meiren was a soldier. Even if she looked gentle and elegant, she was not a weak woman like Ruan Qingshuang. If you don't want to help, then don't get in my way. Otherwise, I won't be polite to you. Then you can try. Qin Wan graduated from the police academy and won second place in Sonda. She had experienced so many big scenes in Hadong and Shenzhen. Of course, she was not a person who was afraid of trouble. Now that Yu Meiren had forced her into a dead end, she naturally would not be polite to fight back. Seeing that the friction between the two was about to escalate to sparks, Ruan Qingshuang's weak little body suddenly exploded with a strong explosive force. Okay. It was enough. Su-yun is like this. You still have the mood to quarrel? If you want to quarrel, then go out and quarrel. Don't get in my way. If a person who often lost his temper, the people around him would definitely be used to it. They would not think that it was so scary, and they would even stare at him. But if a person who did not lose his temper often, once he lost his temper, the people around him would be completely shocked, let alone stare at him and quarrel. Anyway, Qin Wan did not say anything on the spot. "Sister Qingshuang, don't you worry that Su-yun will be taken away by this woman? Who knows who she is? If she wants to harm Su-yun, then aren't we falling into her trap? Wan, I believe in Dr. Yu. If she grew up with Su-yun, she would never harm Su-yun." Ruan Qingshuang said, "I believe in my intuition. If Dr. Yu wants to harm Su-yun, then everything she did before was for us to see." Su-yun trusted her so much, so when we all left, she had the opportunity to make a move on Su-yun. Why would she wait until now? Qin Wan did not have a reason, so she stopped talking. She lowered her head like a child who had done something wrong. Yu Meiren also put away her anger and said generously, "I'm sorry, Wanner. It was my bad attitude just now. But please believe me, I didn't do it on purpose. I'm really worried about Su Yun. I need to take him to a place because that place has the best medical equipment and my best assistant. Where? Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan said at the same time. That was the place where Su Yun had stayed before he came to society. Yu Meiren said, therefore you can rest assured. That place, Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan were stunned. They both knew that Su Yun had an extraordinary childhood, so that mysterious place was definitely a place that made them curious and fascinated. A long time ago, Qin Wan had fantasized about what that place would look like. Therefore, when they heard Yu Meiren's words, both of them wanted to go and see the place where Su Yun had stayed. Although Qin Wan was curious, she did not make a decision on her own. She looked at Ruan Qingxuang to ask for her opinion, and got a firm response from her eyes. Can we go together? Ruan Qingxuang asked softly, we really don't feel at ease with him. Yu Meiren frowned. She really could not make up her mind. What she was doing now was already against the rules. If she took an outsider with her, it would be a mistake on top of a mistake. It was definitely not a good idea. Seeing Yu Meiren's embarrassed face, Qin Wan said, I know. I know where you are. We have also seen Chen Feng and Fan Shuanger. They are all from your place, right? How do you know? Yu Meiren opened her eyes wide. We have all seen them. Ruan Qingxuang said, we know you are a confidential organization, but we can swear that we will never tell anyone what we have seen. We are only doing this for Su Yun. We will never tell anyone. Really, I swear. Qin Wan also said sincerely, I am a policewoman. Please believe me, because I have participated in confidential missions. I know the importance of confidentiality. We will never bring you any trouble. Yu Meiren was very embarrassed. She looked down at Su Yun and then looked at Qin Wan. I can believe you, because Su Yun also believes in you. Maybe you don't think it is a big deal, but I always thought that Su Yun would never be able to get over that threshold. He even believes in the police, which proves that you are worthy of his trust. So I believe you, but discipline is discipline. But, Ruan Qingxuang still wanted to fight for it. Qin Wan made a prompt decision. Don't say so much. It is more important to save people first. At most, we will not go in with you when we arrive. Is that okay? We are just escorting Su Yun. Otherwise, you will drive alone and can't take care of him. What she said was really reasonable. Yu Meiren nodded. Okay, then we will go together. But you have to promise me that when we arrive, you will not make it difficult for me. Although people say that people are alive, the discipline and rules where we are dead. We will never live. I have already violated the discipline, so I really dare not take you to take risks. Understood. Ruan Qingxuang nodded. They hurriedly lifted Su Yun and put him in the car. Yu Meiren was more familiar with the road, so she drove all the way to Yanjing. It was definitely a long journey from Shenzhen to Yanjing. During the whole night, Yu Meiren and Qin Wan changed shifts twice. Because they ran on the highway, Qin Wan also knew the road signs. She only needed to change the driver's seat to Yu Meiren when they arrived at Yanjing. Ruan Qingxuang had been taking care of Su Yun in the back seat. She put Su Yun's head on her lap, afraid that the bumpy road would hurt Su Yun. On the way, they refueled and ate at the rest area twice, but Su Yun did not drink at all. This made Ruan Qingxuang even more worried. Even if she gave Su Yun and 4 drip now, it would be much better than not drinking at all. Every time she thought of Su Yun's suffering, Ruan Qingxuang felt distressed. They finally saw the road sign of Yanjing. They were dozens of kilometers away. Yu Meiren forced herself to be energetic. As long as they reached the army, Su Yun would be saved. No matter how good her medical skills were, she was not as good as Lieutenant General Wang Yi. Su Yun was the disciple that Lieutenant General Wang Yi valued the most. Even if Su Yun was personally expelled by him, Yu Meiren still believed that if Wang Yi knew that Su Yun was in such a state, he would definitely save him. With Wang Yi's help, everything would be fine. Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan were also excited. Su Yun would be saved soon, and they were getting closer and closer to the place where Su Yun used to live. Perhaps their language grades were very average, so this feeling could not be described with words. Half an hour later, the car finally got off the highway. Yu Meiren drove directly to the northern suburbs. This time, it was just in time for the morning rush hour in Yanjing. Because of the smog in Yanjing, the car could not speed up at all. Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan looked a little anxious. The closer they were to their goal, the more anxious they would be. Su Yun's signs of being in a coma did not improve at all, which made them even more anxious. Beauty you might have long been used to the hazy weather and congested traffic in Beijing, so her mentality was obviously better. The patient knew better that she could not be anxious at such a time. If something else happened, it would be even more troublesome. Finally, after an hour, Yu Meiren stopped the car 3 kilometers away from the Dragon Brigade. Why did you stop? Ruan Qingxuang was confused. Yu Meiren looked at Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan very seriously. Sister Qingxuang, Wan, we are very close to our troop. Before we came, you promised me that you would not make things difficult for me, so I agreed to let you come together. Now I hope you can cooperate with me. Qin Wan bit her lower lip. Ruan Qingxuang frowned and said, Dr. Yu, we are not there yet. I promise you, we will get off the car when we arrive at the gate of your troop. We will wait at the gate and will not follow you in. We will not make things difficult for you. Sister Qingxuang, you have already made things difficult for me. Yu Meiren said, maybe you don't know what kind of troop we are. We are a secret troop that does not allow anyone to get close to us. If I bring you to the gate of our troop, it will be a serious violation of the rules. Okay, let's get off the car. Qin Wan was surprisingly calm. Sister Qingxuang, don't make things difficult for Dr. Yu. If she did not make things difficult for you, she would not be like this. Saving people is more important. Let's not waste any more time. Yu Meiren smiled at Qin Wan. Thank you. Qin Wan said, we should thank you. Dr. Yu, we will leave Su Yun to you. I hope you can take care of Su Yun. My sixth sense tells me that Su Yun's coma this time is different from the previous times. After he fainted, he was like sleeping and everything else was normal. But this time is different. His heartbeat is very weak. Ruan Qingxuang also said, Dr. Yu, please rest assured that I will do my best. Yu Meiren said firmly. Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan quickly got out of the car. Yu Meiren did not waste any more time. She left quickly and ran directly to the Dragon Brigade. Because the Dragon Brigade was a special force that directly belonged to the highest military command of the country, there was no information about it. It was related to the important national secrets, especially to prevent the investigation of foreign military spies. Therefore, the Dragon Brigade was more mysterious than any special forces or brigades. The Dragon Brigade did not hide in a military region or a reserve force at all. It directly existed alone. Anyone who passed by the Dragon Brigade would never think that it was a troop because the sign hanging on the gate was not a military one, but a mechanical equipment factory. Ruan Qingxuang regretted it after getting out of the car. What should we do now? If we can't find out where Su Yun is, I will feel uneasy. Sister Qingxuang, we can find him by ourselves. Follow the direction that Dr. Yu went. I think it won't be too far before we see the troop. Qin Wan said, as long as we see the people standing guard at the gate, then we will find a way to sneak in. You are too bold, aren't you? Ruan Qingxuang was frightened by Qin Wan-er's idea. Qin Wan-er did not think so. It's okay. Even if we get caught, the troop will not do anything to us if we tell them the truth. After all, we are not stealing secrets. We are just worried about Su Yun. I think if we ask to go to the infirmary, it should not be too difficult, right? Ruan Qingxuang opened her mouth. Are you ready to be caught? Don't you want to see? Qin Wan asked. Ruan Qingxuang thought for a while and finally nodded. She said seriously, yes. Qin Wan stretched her arms. I have been in the car all night. It is time to move. Sister Qing Shuang, you have to follow me closely. I am going to run. Chapter 503. When Yu Meiren drove to the entrance of the Dragon Brigade headquarters, she was immediately stopped by the people on duty at the entrance. Because it was a confidential location, even the people dressed in navy blue uniforms pretending to be security guards were people arranged by the Dragon Fury team. Today happened to be the day Hua Xiaolu was on duty. This was also his favorite and most timid leisure time. Because only when it was his turn to be on duty, he could sit comfortably in the security room and drink a cup of tea. He was incomparably timid. This was not a reward given by the leaders, but because they were a hidden force, they had to be the most realistic. Most factories would not require security guards to stand guard. Now, it was humanized management. Therefore, if they were asked to stand guard, it would be easy to be suspected of being from the military. Not only Hua Xiaolu, but any member of the Dragon Fury team liked to be on duty at the entrance. It was comfortable, free, and they could light up a cigarette whenever they wanted. They just needed to avoid it for a while. If they were to go for training, let alone smoke, they would not even have the chance to smoke a cigarette. This was because the cars that entered and left the Dragon Brigade were equipped with identification systems. When the car entered the range of the surveillance at the entrance, the gate would automatically open. When the car left the range of the surveillance, the gate would automatically close. Therefore, when Hua Xiaolu saw the car, he did not pay much attention to it. He was wondering when the military would get a new car. Although it was said that military license plates prevented luxury cars from entering, the Dragon Brigade did not exist in the military. Their license plates were also ordinary, so they were not restricted. The country would definitely not be stingy with the financial funds allocated to them. This was because they had done too much for the country. Many of the terrifying plans that people wanted to carry out in Huaxia died in the womb because of them. Many of the hidden dangers that the people did not know about were eliminated by them. Therefore, it did not matter if their funding was higher, they ate better, and they used better. They were originally a high-tech, high-end special existence team, so of course, they had to be treated specially. The Dragon Brigade could not be treated the same as ordinary people because it was not fair to them in the first place. What they could do was absolutely impossible for ordinary people, so they couldn't be compared. Besides, all the equipment, including the cars, belonged to the country. They didn't even have a few days off in a year. When all the cars were used for missions, they definitely wouldn't use the military cars for personal use like some corrupt people in the military or the second or third generation of the military. However, the door did not open for the luxury car that suddenly appeared. Hua Xiaolu immediately raised his vigilance and quickly got out of the door, ready to attack and defend himself. But when the car window rolled down, Hua Xiaolu saw Yu Meiren's face. "Sister Yu." Hua Xiaolu widened his eyes and exclaimed, "That day your team of doctors came back and said you were missing. We were scared to death. Now we have already started to formulate a mission to find you. Where did you go? Whose car is this?" Yu Meiren's expression was anxious. "Open the door quickly, time waits for no one." "Quick." Hua Xiaolu was slightly stunned. With his familiarity with Yu Meiren, of course, he knew that there was no need to check her. But this was an unfamiliar car, and it was a rule of the brigade that they had to check. This was definitely a strict rule. Because even if the brigade came, as long as they didn't sit in a certified car, they had to accept the inspection unconditionally. No matter how urgent the matter was, it couldn't be done without this procedure. "Sister Yu, I'm sorry, I have to do a routine inspection," Hua Xiaolu said and saluted. Hua Xiaolu, this was a matter of life and death. Yu Meiren had never lost her temper in front of anyone. This time, she glared at Hua Xiaolu because of the people in the car. But Hua Xiaolu still insisted on his own principles. Discipline was discipline. But when he opened the car door and saw the unconscious Su Yun in the back seat, he instantly abandoned all the rules. He immediately knew what had happened. Something had happened to Boss. Hua Xiaolu couldn't remain calm. He pressed the button to open the door and quickly jumped into the car. What happened to boss? Yu Meiren saw the factory door open and quickly drove in. She didn't have time to explain to Hua Xiaolu, he needs emergency treatment. Hua Xiaolu, who was on shift guarding the door, also forgot about his current job. He directly got into the car and drove with Yu Meiren to the medical department. It was rare to see someone driving so crazily in their own yard, so this unfamiliar car attracted a lot of attention. The current acting captain of the Dragon Fury team, Hua Leitang, also immediately stared at this unfamiliar car and quickly followed. When the car stopped in front of the medical department, Hua Xiaolu jumped out of the car first and really stunned Hua Leitang. Wasn't this kid on duty at the security room at the entrance? Then Yu Meiren, who got out of the car in the driver's seat, shocked Hua Leitang again. The higher-ups had already decided to arrange for the Dragon Fury team to go out and look for Dr. Yu, but she suddenly came back. Violent dragon! Hua Leitang shouted and ran directly in front of the two. What's going on? Why did you come in with Dr. Yu? Aren't you on duty at the security room? Shadow Dragon, stop talking so much nonsense. Do you feel bad when the captain doesn't discipline people? Boss is back. Come and help me. Hua Xiaolu said impatiently. No one would be happy to see their boss, Yan Long, like this. Hua Leitang was stunned for a long time before he realized what Hua Xiaolu said. He stepped forward and stuck his head into the car. As expected, he saw the unconscious Su Yun. Captain Ing, please help me. Take him to the emergency room upstairs. I need to check him as soon as possible. Yu Meiren said, there's one more thing. Please go and inform Lieutenant General Wang Yi. The problem with Su Yun's body might not be something I can solve. Please ask him to help me. Hua Leitang felt like he was dreaming when he saw Su Yun. However, he still didn't know how to deal with the matter of principle. Dr. Yu. Leader Yen was fired by Shizuan himself. Now that he's here. Is he allowed to come in? This is... Clang. Hua Xiaolu suddenly reached out and pressed Hua Leitang against the car. Shadow Dragon, what are you trying to say? I'm telling you, if anything happens to boss, I'll fight you to the death. If you think that I can't beat you, then I'll tell you that I won't be the only one who dares to fight you to the death. Hua Leitang blocked Hua Xiaolu's hand. I know. That's not what I meant. I didn't say that I won't save him. But this is a big taboo. He's no longer a member of Dragon's Fury. Hua Xiaolu immediately flew into a rage. You're not *King member of Dragon's Fury. Shadow Dragon, don't force me. Why did Hua Xiaolu have the nickname Tyrannosaurus? It was a perfect match for his temper. In front of Su Yun, Hua Xiaolu was always the boy next door with a bad temper. However, if he wasn't in front of Su Yun, everyone would know that he had a bad temper. I'm telling the truth. Hua Leitang was the acting captain after all. Of course, his temper couldn't be suppressed by his subordinates. Saving people was more important. Yu Meiren saw that the two of them could still quarrel at this time, so she roared on the spot. The medical department heard the noise and ran out. When they saw Yu Meiren, they were relieved. However, when they saw the unconscious Su Yun, they immediately followed Yu Meiren's instructions and brought the patient upstairs. Hua Leitang looked at Yu Meiren anxiously. Dr. Yu, I'll leave him to you. I'll inform Master immediately. Okay. Yu Meiren said and quickly went to the emergency room with the medical department. Go to the door and do your job. I'm here. You don't have to worry. Hua Leitang ordered. Don't forget what kind of punishment you'll face if you leave your post without permission. Hua Xiaolu snorted. My boss is already like this. Why would I care about punishment? Hua Leitang, I'm telling you, if anything happens to boss today, I'll hold you responsible. Hua Leitang was furious too. Tyrannosaurus. Don't be unreasonable in front of me. I'm not going to indulge your bad habits. I don't have time to deal with you now. We'll settle our debts slowly. Saving people is more important now. I'll go look for Master. Get back to your post immediately. After that, Hua Leiteng didn't care if Hua Xiaolu listened or not. He quickly left to look for Wang Yi. The news that the former captain and instructor of the Dragon Fury team, Yen Long, was brought back to the Dragon Brigade spread like a highly contagious virus. It quickly spread throughout the Dragon Brigade. Qian Feng, Han Zhan, Gong Sun Lang, Fan Shuanger, and all the other members of the Dragon Fury team rushed to the medical department after hearing the news. Hua Xiaolu told them that Su Yun was in a critical condition and was unconscious. Everyone's face was instantly filled with anxiety. In the eyes of all the members of the Dragon Fury team, Su Yun was omnipotent. It was impossible for him to fall. Naturally, they couldn't accept the fact that Su Yun had fallen. At this time, Wang Yi also arrived at the medical department under Hua Leiteng's lead. Seeing that all the members of the Dragon Fury team were gathered in the medical department, Hua Leiteng was a little anxious. "What are you all doing here? Go do what you're supposed to do. Don't be a busybody." Wang Yi walked into the medical department without saying anything. Hua Leiteng was about to follow, but Wang Yi suddenly stopped. "Okay, go do what you're supposed to do. I don't need your help here. Also, regarding the matter of Yen Long being brought back to the army, I don't care what method the Dragon Fury team used. Keep a close eye on all the people who know about this matter." "Yes," Hua Leiteng said. "I promise to complete the mission." After seeing Wang Yi's figure disappear, Hua Leiteng came out and lectured again. "Did you all hear that? Hurry up and do what you're supposed to do. Also, who did you hear this from? Immediately tell them to stop talking nonsense. If anyone dares to talk nonsense again, the Dragon Fury team will never let them go." Qian Feng shook his head helplessly. "Shadow Dragon, you're really not likable. Ever since you came back last time, I've been hoping to change my opinion of you, but why are you still so annoying? Boss is inside. Where are we going?" "Of course, we're not going anywhere." The last sentence spoke the thoughts of everyone present. Su Yun's life was uncertain in the medical department. Who would have the mood to do anything else? Not to mention that there was no time for training. One day less training wouldn't kill anyone. Even Hua Xiaolu, who was on shift as a security guard, didn't care. After all, as long as it was a car from the army, he would be able to recognize it. However, he couldn't seem to remember if he pressed the button to close the door when he and Yu Meiren got in the car. Thinking of this, Hua Xiaolu quickly got up and ran to the door. This was a big deal. Seeing Hua Xiaolu run away without saying a word, Hua Leiteng felt gratified. Look at T-Rex, he still puts guarding his post first. "I'll be back after I close the door," Hua Xiaolu said as he ran. Chapter 504. On the other hand, Ruan Qingshuang and Qin Wan searched for a long time, but they did not see any signs of the army. There were many factories near the North Point, and there were many big cars on the road. Maybe it was the end of the year, and the factories were busy. Qin Wan's heart sank. "Sister Qingshuang, do you think Dr. Yu is lying to us? Is it because she is worried that we will leak the secret, so she deliberately took us to the north suburb, which is far away from their army, and then took Su Yun to the south suburb where their army is? I am really worried that she will do that. If that is the case, we will have no chance to find Su Yun at all." "It can't be." Ruan Qingshuang heard Qin Wan's words, and her heart sank. If what Qin Wan said was true, where should they go? What should they do next? Soon, Qin Wan shook her head again. She looked serious and said, "Impossible. With her relationship with Su Yun, she will not waste time to get rid of us. It will hurt Su Yun the most. Their troops should be nearby. We must have missed them somewhere or missed them." Ruan Qingshuang agreed. Yu Meiren would not waste time. For her and Su Yun, time was the most precious thing. If she first threw them to the north suburb and then went to the south suburb, wasn't it a joke and gamble with Su Yun's life? So Qin Wan's analysis was not wrong. Su Yun's army must be somewhere remote in the north suburb of Yanjing. It must be because of the mysterious nature of the army that it was hidden. Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan looked at each other and shook their heads helplessly. It did not make sense. Even if it was hidden, there should be a way, right? They had seen it all along the way, and there were only a few scattered factories. If they went further, they would be out of Yanjing. It did not make sense. Ruan Qingxuang sighed. We've been looking very carefully along the way. No matter how mysterious Su Yun's troops are, they can't be built underground, right? Qin Wan's face was full of helplessness. Now I really wonder if their army is built underground. Then, Qin Wan's expression suddenly changed. She hugged Ruan Qingxuang's shoulder and said, "Sister Qingxuang, I suddenly thought of something. Can you help me confirm it?" Ruan Qingxuang was startled by Qin Wan. Tell me, what's the matter? When we were on our way here, we saw a few scattered large factories. Are all the factories very busy with cars coming and going in front of them? Qin Wan said, "It's the end of the year. Many factories are rushing to send out the last batch of goods at the end of the year to boost sales. At the same time, they also need to purchase a large amount of raw materials. Therefore, at this time, the factories are crowded with people coming and going. Isn't that normal?" After all, she was from the police academy. Sometimes, her analytical ability was better than ordinary people. After hearing Qin Wan's words, Ruan Qingxuang really thought of something wrong. Ruan Qingxuang was very sure. These factories are indeed very busy. There is a lot of traffic at the gate. But one factory seems to be a bit special. Although the gate is open, there is no truck coming in or out. And the scale of that factory, from the outside, seems to be bigger than the other few factories. What you said just now makes me think that this factory is going to close down. Sister Qingxuang, don't tell me you haven't thought of it. I have a bold guess. Qin Wan's eyes were firm. And I believe that my guess is almost 100% accurate. Ruan Qingxuang still did not understand. She stared at Qin Wan's expression for a while before she suddenly understood. You mean, that strange factory is not a factory at all, but the place where Su Yun stayed before? Qin Wan was very firm. If their army is really as mysterious as Umaran said, then what is impossible? Using the appearance of the factory as a disguise, the inside is actually the sharp blade of the nation, a special mysterious combat force, a special mysterious department, a special mysterious high-tech personnel. It is all possible. You read too many novels, right? Ruan Qingxuang still felt that it was a bit too whimsical. Then we will know when we go back. Even if I guess wrong, there is no loss. After all, we have no way to contact them now. Qin Wan said. Ruan Qingxuang nodded. Things could only be like this. Even if there was only a little hope, it was still hope. If they did not look for it and did not investigate it, then there would be no hope at all. Since they had made such a decision, the two of them quickly ran back. That large machinery factory was indeed too quiet. When Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan returned to the suspicious factory, they saw that there was no one in the security room. Then Qin Wan boldly shouted, "Is there anyone?" However, the two did not get any response, which made Qin Wan bolder. She directly walked into the factory with Ruan Qingxuang. When they bypassed the front building that looked like an office building, they found that there was indeed a big world behind it. This was definitely not a factory. Everything that looked like a factory was fake. The fake factory wasn't a workshop for processing and renovation at all. It was a room for all kinds of other purposes. Wow! Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan could not help but open their mouths wide. They were amazed. Everything here was something they had never seen before. "Who are you?" Just when the two were still amazed, for people suddenly appeared behind them. Two of them quickly handcuffed their hands behind their backs and directly suppressed them. The two did not even have the chance to turn their heads and see their faces. Ruan Qingxuang turned pale with fright. The sudden appearance of someone behind her was enough to give her a fright even if they didn't make a move. What's more, her hands were handcuffed behind her back with a click. "I am a policeman. Let me go," Qin Wan shouted. It was the first time she was held like a prisoner. She could not bear it. "Let me go." But before she could continue to speak, her head was covered by a black paper mask. Similarly, Ruan Qingxuang could not get rid of this solution. Her head was also covered by a black paper mask. This paper mask was very thick. It seemed to be the kind that was specially used. The people who were covered by it could not see anything, but it did not affect their breathing. Everything here was a secret that could not be spied on by outside spies. Therefore, it was normal to have this kind of paper mask. It was often used by spies who were caught. "Are you a policeman?" "Ha ha, the Royal Police? International Police?" The voice behind the two of them sneered. "Even if you are the number one in the FBI, it is useless to come here. This is not a place where you can come and go as you please. Humph, take them away." After the order was given, Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Wan were pushed away. Along the way, Qin Wan did not stop struggling. However, her little strength was like an ant in the eyes of the other party. It was useless. Looking at the backs of the two women being taken away, the 1.8-meter-tall strong young man standing at the gate of the Dragon Brigade waved his hand and signaled the other member behind him to close the gate. The young man had an extraordinary temperament. He was wearing a professional command combat uniform and a pair of combat boots. There was not a speck of dust on his body. At first glance, he did not look like the kind of person who was trained in the army. He was the kind of person who trained others. Therefore, his whole person also revealed a sense of arrogance. Today should be the day the Dragon Fury team arranged for people to be on duty. Unexpectedly, they made such a mistake. The arrogant young man snorted. "There is no one in the security room at the gate, and the gate is so wide open. Not to mention a person, even a tank can drive in. Humph, such a big mistake. I think the Shadow team doesn't want to live anymore." The young man who closed the door walked in front of him and said, "Mad team, today the Dragon Fury team's T-Rex is on duty at the gate. It is written on the duty list." "Good, very good." The arrogant young man said, "Let's see how he can escape this punishment." Hua Xiaolu suddenly ran back. After hearing the last sentence of the two people's conversation, he snorted in disdain. "I was wondering who it was. It is the captain of the Dragon Fury team. Long time no see. I heard that because of that mission, you almost died outside. Heh heh, Mad Dragon, you sure are lucky." The arrogant young man who stood in front of Hua Xiaolu was the captain of the Dragon Fury team under the Dragon Brigade, Gong Jiuxiao, Fury Dragon. She didn't know when it started. Anyway, when Hua Xiaolu came to the Divine Dragon Brigade, the Dragon's Fury Special Force and the Dragon's Prestige Special Force were competing with each other. Every year, these two teams competed to see who could complete more missions and whose missions were more difficult. Although on the surface, there was nothing between the two teams, when they really talked, there were often some insinuations. They didn't have any bad intentions, but they just couldn't bear to see the other side better than them. "Our boss is destined for good fortune after surviving a great disaster." The young man standing behind Gong Jiuxiao was the Dragon Fury team's Wind Dragon, Tang Zhao. When he saw that Hua Xiaolu dared to call their boss by his name, of course he felt embarrassed. "Fury Dragon, I'm warning you. Behave yourself in front of our boss in the future. Don't be so rude." Hua Xiaolu snorted in disdain. "Oh, Fury Dragon, I think you've grown up. During the team competition last year, who was the one who was beaten to a pulp by me?" "Wait. It was you? Or Flood Dragon?" Yes, I remember. I taught Flood Dragon a lesson first, and then you, Fury Dragon." "Hee hee, you can't even take turns to fight me." "Oh." Under the provocation of these words, Tang Zhao lost his face and was about to attack on the spot. However, Gong Jiuxiao stopped his subordinates. Although Tang Zhao was extremely angry in his heart, he could only swallow his anger because his boss was beside him to stop him. Fury Dragon really knows people. He knows that his people can't beat me, hee hee. Hua Xiaolu said proudly. Gong Zhouxiao snorted heavily. Fury Dragon, don't think that I don't let Fury Dragon fight because we're afraid of you. I'm just afraid that if he cripples you, then he'll blame it on us. After all, Lieutenant General Wang Yi is the master of Dragon's Fury. It's not like he hasn't protected his people before. Hua Xiaolu narrowed his eyes. Fury Dragon, you better watch your words. Since you know that Lieutenant General Wang Yi is our master, then don't drag him into it. Otherwise, I don't care who you are, I'll beat you up without hesitation. Who do you think you are? You want to fight with our boss? Humph, you must be tired of living. Tang Zhao spat. Gong Zhouxiao was calm. Fury Dragon, I won't be stupid enough to fight with you. I won't make such a low-level mistake. Not everyone is like you, who can't even guard the door well. Hee hee, 2 people sneaked in just now. Unfortunately you weren't here, so I helped you tie them up. When I find out what their purpose is, you'd better be careful not to be dragged into it. I can't guarantee that you didn't collude with the outside and let them in on purpose. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.